and subscribe. If you were so damn good, hell, white people would have moved to Africa rather than coming from England to America, because y'all would have built up Africa like a damn Taj Mahal everywhere you look. There would have been a damn Taj Mahal, a Eiffel Tower, and every damn thing else would have been over there in Africa, and white folk would have moved to Africa rather than coming to America, you damn nappy-headed liar. Talking about we built them, built a damn thing. Over there in the Congo now, people are suffering, drinking unhealthy water, ain't got no damn medication, no indoor plumbing system, living in damn grass huts in the year 2026, talking about you built America. Hell, if you're so damn good at building America, why didn't you build the damn Congo? Why didn't you build Niger? Why didn't you build those nations over there now? Talking about you built this and you built a damn thing in America. You're lucky that God let you come in to be slaves. You lucky God let you be a slave in America. No, you built a damn thing.
Gentiles are very stupid. They'll never think. They only want the beer and the alcohol and the sport and the football and the 4th of July barbecue and the beach and the tattoos and the clubs. That's all they have in mind. Nothing in life. No values, no ethics, no conscience, no calculation about where am I heading, no timeouts to evaluate what I've done right or wrong. Nothing.
And I believe a fetus gets a soul at quickening.
You have a problem in you want to believe what you believe, and it doesn't matter what anyone says.
I can show you in the Talmud where it says.
Yeah, I think the Talmud has a lot of really wicked stuff in it, and I don't subscribe to it or consider it authoritative.
I can't help you. You're an anti-Semite.
She didn't say she was an anti-Semite.
You called one of the most sacred books in Judaism full of wickedness.
Yeah,
you're an anti-Semite.
Well, the Talmud talks about.
You don't think there's anything wicked in there?
The Talmud talks about Jesus suffering an excrement as a punishment for claiming to be the Messiah.
I think you're an anti-Semite. Okay, we're done because you're an anti-Semite.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. It is Monday yet again, which unfortunately means that me and you are stuck together. I've got you for 3, 4, 5 hours of playtime. Hope you are all doing very, very well today. So first up, what to start with? Well, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about for sure. A little bit of rage bait at the end, but apparently everybody decided to say and do really stupid things in the gun industry today, and which is perfect for me because that means I get to talk about it all right? There's many opinions that are being floated around Almost all of them retarded. So retarded, you might think that they're rage bait. But before we get to rage bait, something that I personally find very funny is that I had a little competition, the North Dakota State, what is it? Vortex Belt Championship, whatnot. And I took first place in carry optics. And I got a little plaque and I won like $250. It was great. It was fantastic. One of a pretty decent match. I didn't quite snag the overall. I was 5% off. I had a really bad stage. Nick Walden, who's a really good shooter, took first place overall. But if I can be like 5% off of like an actual good shooter, maybe someday I'll be a good shooter. But regardless of all of that fun nonsense, let's bring in the boys, so to speak, for a very depressing episode. We have Jake and Richard. How is your guys' day going so far?
Yeah, it's been a long one, but I'm here.
I'm doing fantastic, John.
It's good. I'm glad to hear it, okay? Because today will not be full of any sadness or malarkey or nonsense, I'm sure. 100%.
The intro was a banger. I don't even know what that was.
I love that song. It goes really hard, okay? And then you have Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, which is actually a fantastic Xbox original. I have the HD version. I play it every couple of years. I played it probably 30 times through in my life because I used to just play it back to front when it came out, of course, like 2005.
That did look good. Not much on games, but it did look good.
It's a fun game. It's wacky, okay? You're a weird bounty hunter who uses animals as your ammunition for your crossbow. It's very fun. All right. Anyways, let's get into some world news, which is just your government lying to you again. This is Pentagon is revealing hundreds of new Iran war casualties. So they updated the numbers over the last string of missile attacks. I think it was sitting around 400 wounded, and that has jumped up to roughly 600 wounded. So they're just fudging the numbers a little bit, and it could be quite a bit worse than this, right? We don't actually know. There's always a bit of a delay, a lag. Some of that is for, intelligence purposes, right? You don't necessarily want to publish that, hey, actually, you just did a really effective strike on these locations. That's crazy. Maybe don't continue to do that or something, right? So fudging the numbers, lying, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, can absolutely make sense in some circumstances, but there are quite a few wounded. 600 is quite a lot. And I still, as of yet, checking gas prices, checking like my local grocery store, all this other stuff, I haven't yet seen the benefit, but I'm sure any day now it will start to materialize. There will be some tangible benefit to the American populace at some point in the future. I'm not sure when. I'm not even sure what it would be. Like, would it be lower gas prices? We had that before. Would it be lower food prices, reduced inflation? Like, who knows, right? These people are just making it up as they go along.
I just can't believe they funged the numbers that much. I mean, 600. I thought it was only like 271 or something. I mean, that's like really, really fudging the numbers there.
When you think about it, it's within the margin of error. What's the difference between 400 and 600 injured American soldiers between friends, right? I mean, come on.
I feel like we're winning so hard right now. I don't know if I can take any more winning. I'm just really happy about it. I think it's great.
Yeah, well, hey, guess what, Jake? For every wounded American soldier, we're going to bomb a schoolgirl.
That's awesome.
So take that.
Well, so I don't know if you were going to cover this, but the death count. Did you see that they revised?
We covered the last. I saw that it had updated to 4 new deaths. I want to say we had covered the last 2, but
so
not
what
any
they
additional
did,
ones.
This is different. With the revision of the casualties and everything, they reduced the death count from 18 to 14. And their logic was, well, those most recent 4 soldiers were killed after the MOU was breached. So it's technically a different conflict, which is interesting.
Sorry.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. That's actually insane. But I mean, listen, okay, it's American politics in 2026. It seems to not benefit Americans. In fact, it seems to benefit like other groups for some reason. I haven't figured that one out. Now, it is another little thing here that just isn't really relevant other than the fact someone sent me this article that has a little error in it. And I wonder if you guys can help me find the little error in the article. It's small. You might not notice it.
What is that picture?
It's funny because I think the base picture is a real picture.
Are
You
you sure
know?
it's not an ejected shell that just so happened to be perfectly lined up?
In front of the barrel, perfectly in line.
I mean, I've seen crazier things.
I mean, maybe from the right angle, that's possible. Or somebody
Yeah,
was
it's gotta
like,
be
I need
some
to
hot-
show a barrel or a projectile, like a bullet. What does a bullet look like? And so he grabs bullet.png and puts it in front of the barrel. I'm not sure, but I don't even know if if it could be a shell because there's no smoke, there's nothing around it at all. Not like he just fired a gun. Like this is immediately after firing, right? There's no smoke anywhere, no debris. The muzzle's perfectly in line, so it's like it didn't move at all.
Well, he's just that good.
Is that trench grenade? It might be, dude. It might be.
Imagine how
That is
hot
actually
they
the
get.
fabled 12 o'clock, right? If we look at it in a 3D plane, it is actually the pure forward ejection system, much like the FS2000.
Yeah, it's the FS2000.
Yeah.
That must be a Daniel defense.
Yeah. It's so overgassed, it ejects in line with the bore. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, we'll move into something real, although still cringe, okay? Because Carl of Tactical Rifleman. Now, are you guys familiar with the channel Tactical Rifleman?
Never heard of her.
Never? They got
have.
like 1 million subscribers, bro.
I
Yes.
couldn't tell you, John. I've never heard
That's
of her.
crazy.
I believe
Richard,
he's
you're
even been in
familiar
our
with
chat.
it. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he's even been in our chat once or twice.
Tactical Rifleman, really?
Yes.
Well, you don't remember this guy at all? He calls himself
No.
a former action guy, which is funny, right? And he uses the real acronym for it. I can't until we're at like the 2-hour mark. But yeah, former action guy, goes over like kind of old school performance. Sometimes he talks about guns or optics or accessories or whatnot. Sometimes he provides like tactical insights or shooting tips and tricks. Usually they're not very good in terms of like the shooting performance side of things because again, being a former action guy, somebody who's been in the game for a long time, what he learned in the 80s, 90s and maybe the early 2000s not particularly relevant to the way modern people shoot in a performance aspect. It's just come a really, really long way. So some of the advice there isn't particularly good, but I don't have any problems with the guy. He seems nice enough. He seems like a nice fellow. And maybe he's just out of the loop, but he decided to post a video. I'm staying with Rare Breed Triggers, which is a very, very strange hill to die on 2026 when the internet hates Rare Breed. And they're going to continue to hate Rare Breed. And it's never going to get better for Rare Breed, okay? Nobody cares that their product is like actually one of the best FRTs on the market. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is the fact that they're suing their favorite inexpensive, super safe FRT manufacturer out of existence, right? Whether it be Hoffman, Atrius, Regulators, any of the other ones that they're suing. I mean, there's probably 10, 15, 20 different companies that Rare Breed is in current active litigation against, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of these companies. So, of course, the internet hates them because they go around trying to put other people out of business and for suing people frivolously on things that just simply don't infringe on their patent. And so it seems like just a bad idea. Okay. Carl putting out this video seems like a stupid play unless there's some sort of like relationship with Rare Breed that he's trying to push, I guess, for lack of a better term, like he's trying to shill for Rare Breed. It just never works out well, ever. Just don't do it, right? Unless you're getting paid to do it, there's no point. And even if you are getting paid to do it, it's not going to look good and it's going to do more reputational harm than good for sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we?
Oh, wow. It's a fancy intro.
Everybody loves Force.
It is. It's very, very high quality. It's very like mid 2010s, in terms of like YouTube channel intros where they all have like the flame guns and the explosion and then the logo, and it's like they paid some guy like $75 to make them a logo and they used it for 10 years.
I see why I should know who this guy is now. He's obviously a big deal.
I'm just shocked you've never heard of him before. He's a
No.
big channel, 1 million subs in the gun industry, and you've never heard of him before?
Do you know how many
Jeez.
million sub channels there are that I've never even seen?
Well, no, there's literally 1 million sub YouTube channels out there, but in the gun industry, there's like 5. You know, there's
they're
not
like
very
the
many.
worst- They're like the worst ones. All the good gun channels have smaller sub counts.
That is true in terms of the gun content. You know, there are like gun related channels like Brandon Herrera. He's not actually a gun. I mean, he's kind of a gun channel, but it's more like memes and news and others and like novelty stuff, you know. But there are a few good ones.
Hey guys, everybody loves forced reset triggers. I mean, I've got the new rare breed FRT 15C3 right here.
See, now that part of the video set off my alarm bells, and I'm like, yeah. Listen, guys, this is my unbiased opinion, but I've got a brand new, just out of the bag, straight from the factory, the da-da-da, which you can pick up here at rarebreedtriggers.com, you know, or something. It just reads like a mini little ad break there. It's like they're trying to do ad placement without making an ad for it, you know? And it's like, well, I don't think he mentions any sort of relationship or where he got the stuff from or, you know, financial incentives, but then he just goes on to defend them, and, you know, it just adds a little bit of layers to the whole thing.
New and improved. I can't show you guys installing it on the internet. But anyways, we've done a couple videos about forced reset triggers. You can find them in our video archive. If you want the uncensored videos, go over to our channel over on YouTube. I get a lot of supporting comments on these videos, you know, people that love their forced reset triggers. However, I also, on occasion, I get negative comments by people that are bashing Rare Breed for going after other companies copying their patent. First, the whole point of having a patent is to protect your invention, right? Until you've recouped the losses, the costs, and everything that you had in developing it, right?
Right. So that is the positive way of framing patent enforcement, right? You have a trigger, you have a design, you have a granted patent, so you can go after everybody who you think infringes on that. The problem that people have with Rare Breed is not just the infringement, like patent infringement stuff. In fact, I don't really think most people have an issue with the patent infringement stuff. What they have a true issue with is them going after people who have never violated the patent, who do something completely different. It's like the Hoffman trigger kicker is complete 180 in terms of the way that it works versus the Rare Breed firearms, right? A lot of the super safety companies, a lot of the, you know, whatever, pick your favorite one that's being sued currently. The way that they achieve the FRT thingamajig is completely different than how Rare Breed does. So Rare Breed, while they're legally allowed to enforce their patent right upon other people, the problem is that they're stepping outside of the bounds of what they should actually be able to do, because they're lawyers, because they have a lot of money, because they have a lot of weight behind them. They're just throwing that around to essentially bully little people out of the market so that they're the only one, right? They want to be a monopoly on FRT. People in the gun industry tend to hate monopolies. They tend to hate the government at large, right? And they tend to hate people working on the side of the government to get more FRT manufacturers out of the market. So Rare Breed is pissing off like all of the online autists that are going to, you know, hate all of those things.
That's like the drug companies charging more for Motrin, all right? But that's not the only reason that Rare Breed is going after these other companies. All right, back in May 2025, the Office of Public Affairs for the Department of Defense, they did a press release. All right, you can still pull it up online, or basically it says the Department of Justice announces settlement of litigation between the federal government and Rare Breed triggers today in accordance with.
Now, this also seems weird to me, unless he's just like, the timing of this is like, this was a year ago. This was a long time ago, 2 years ago now. Geez, where all this stuff went down. Like, you're not filling anyone in with any new information. Like, you can just say it's the best one on the market and move on, and you don't care about them suing everyone. And he doesn't even address like the actual criticisms, right? It looks like I don't think he's a complete moron, unless he just doesn't actually understand how the internet works. And he apparently does read his own comments, so he should be able to figure it out why people are actually upset. Like, nobody cares that Rare Breed makes money. Nobody cares that they're about really their product. other than the fact that, it is like one of the best FRTs on the market. I sound like an ad for them. Geez. But what they hate is, again, the suing and the bullying aspect of people who are also doing something similar, but again, not really violating their patent.
I don't think he's
President
a complete
Trump-
moron. I think he's a partial moron because he didn't even take the time to look into the other individuals who Rare Breed are going after, and he claims that he doesn't even know some of these individuals. Never heard of them.
Well, that's also like, yeah, I on one hand, it's like, yeah, sure, there's a million people who've been sued by Rare Breed, so yeah, of course you don't know all of them. But then he says in the comments, like, Hoffman, never heard of him, and it's like,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
from my point of view, being a anonymous internet personality known for his toes, there's really no repercussions for anything I say. So I like making things up and being ignorant, willfully ignorant about things, and just sticking with my gut. I think
When
it's
I'm in a
good
lying
way.
competition and my opponent is a Rare Breed shill.
Yeah, I think it's fun, and I think it's a good rage bait method. So I respect the guy for that at least.
Maybe he's just engagement farming off of us,
He
He's
is.
like, dude, I'm almost at 1 million subs. I got to get like some reach, Let's
He
get
just
some
got
smaller
on-
channels activated in us. Let's trigger the trolls and let's bring them all in, okay?
See, John, I didn't even know about him until he got on GunTube Drama
Damn
Alert,
it. Damn it, he just 40 chest me. Damn it. Unbelievable.
Executive order protecting Second Amendment rights as well as the Attorney General's Second Amendment
Dude,
enforcement.
I get that Hans really likes the guy, but he's so funny. Hans is one of those guys who picks fights over really specific things, right? So he's a big fan of Carl. That's cool. Like, you can like Carl. I like Carl, I've liked some of his other videos. I've watched a lot of his other videos. It's okay to like Carl, all right? But it's also okay to recognize that sometimes your dad, he says something a little silly, okay? It's like your dad, he gets up there in age and he does a little faux pas and you're like, uh-oh. Maybe, hey, dad, you shouldn't talk like that. Or maybe, hey, you shouldn't have said that in front of that person, okay? We all have that type of person in our life. Don't worry about it, Hans. Come on.
Task Force, the Department of Justice announced the settlement of litigation between the federal government and Rare Breed Triggers. However,
I know that it's the old heads because Hans and Tusk are both old heads. That is so funny. That, yes, okay, so Carl is the type of guy that goes straight into these guys' brains because I'm pretty sure they're in the same generation of fighter, right? So they identify with each other, which is cool, right? It's fine to be part of that generation, to have that sort of camaraderie with somebody that you served in the same time frame, had similar experiences with. I know that you guys are old heads because you guys are identifying with this guy.
there's fine print in the legal agreement. If you actually go read the legal agreement, Rare Breed Triggers agrees that they will not develop or design FRTs for use in any handgun. Handgun being defined for the purpose of this agreement as any firearm where the magazine gets loaded into the trigger hand grip of it. All right, number 8. Rare Breed Triggers.
And that was a question that I think, Richard, you brought up a week ago or something when we were talking about one of the Rare Breed firearms triggers that was going into a AR pistol, right? But again, according to their agreement, it's only for grip fed. But the B&Ts that are shipping with Rare Breed triggers installed, unless it's only the SBR variants, are triggers that have grip fed magazines, right? Because I mean, they had that whole announcement like a week ago about them partnering with B&T, and the APC and GHM9 are both grip fed. Well, not the APC, but the GHM9 is a grip fed magazine. Am I crazy? The TP9 as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did they just redefine what a pistol is for the purpose of this lawsuit?
Pistol according to their settlement with the ATF. So not in terms of legal terms, but according to the ATF's agreement with them, which is only binding on those two people, right?
Well, they
like
didn't
I have
even
an
use the
agreement with
term.
you, you have an agreement with me that according to this, I won't do this other thing.
They didn't even use the term pistol, though. They used the term handgun, which was very specific.
Well, and then they define handgun as anything that takes a magazine in the grip, right?
Correct.
Which, again, the TP9, GHM9 both do, that are both now shipping with factory Rare Breeds, which is like, okay, that's strange.
I don't even know if handgun was a legal category.
Well, it's not. Again, this isn't legality. This is a settlement between two parties, right? Like me and you can have a settlement that says John will not play Big Toe Money on stream, and if he does, he owes this, right? So again, but that's not a legal thing. That's merely an agreement between me and you.
Wait, I can do that?
Well, you could if we signed and agreed to it. You know, you could have binding terms between the two of us. Yes.
Richard didn't sign nothing.
Ooh.
Will not market, advertise, or encourage individuals to put FRT triggers into any handgun. Okay, kind of along the same lines. But then there was paragraph number 9. Rare Breed Triggers agrees to take all reasonable efforts to engage in patent enforcement.
The reasonable efforts to me I don't interpret that as sue everyone who makes a FRT. That's not reasonable enforcement. Now, some of the guys like what's the one? The Partisans trigger that looks identical to the Rare Breed. I don't know exactly if it works in the identical way, but it looks almost identical, right? There's a few of them out there that are like, if I didn't know anything and I saw these two triggers side by side, they seem to be the same. Like that kind of makes sense. Like, hey, you're obviously recreating my trigger one for one. And well, one, you can't do that in the first place if you own a patent. But again, according to the ATF, they have to pursue patent infringement. However, if you look at a Super Safety or any of the other devices that are on the market, which there's a plethora of now, you're like, that's not the same thing, right? It doesn't look the same. It doesn't function the same. It doesn't utilize the same components. That's not similar. Hey, what up, Vintage Warfare? Hoping you're having a good night.
Did the ATF essentially bankrupt Rare Breed in the long run because they're forcing them to be litigious against everybody?
Could have. They were definitely negatively financially affecting them, but they also had a bunch of support from some of the major, like Firearms Policy Coalition, GOA. I'm not saying those ones specifically, but a lot of the pro Second Amendment organizations. They had a lot of financial support from a lot of these people, as well as, people donating funds and whatnot to help fight this case. So they took a lot of like public funds to help fight the case, and then ended up using those funds to screw over the public once they took the settlement. Now, everybody's main problem is that they should have just won outright and not had to take an agreement with the ATF. And the ATF probably knew that, which is why they offered this settlement. Because the ATF, spoiler alert, Richard, the ATF isn't just going to settle with you if they think you've committed a felony. You know, usually not their MO to just, we'll settle with you. No, they're going to send you away for 20 years for having a receiver in the wrong configuration, right? Well, as we have people actively behind bars right now for very, very silly offenses. It's if they think, oh, shoot, we might lose this, or this may not go our way. Well, let's do a settlement where you get to sue everyone for us because we won't be able to go after them if we lose, right? And they took that deal, right? Which is what everybody's upset about.
Seeking prohibitory injunctions against any person or entity that manufactures, sells, or distributes any FRT during the life of the U.S. patent provided by Rare Breed Triggers.
Jake, you cannot be black posting in the chat while we're streaming, okay?
How is it, if I say anything remotely questionable, I know you're going to pull it up.
It's like it's right there in front of me, bro. You can't do that. That is based black trad wife sounds nice. No, Jake, you're in the wrong chat for that. Get out of here.
Sounds like a nice lady.
Yeah, all right, buddy.
Injunctions against any person or entity that manufactures, sells, or distributes any FRT during the life of the U.S. patent provided by Rare Breed Triggers have a good faith argument that the device is within the scope of their patent. Now, so Rare Breed Triggers won in court, but you understand they had a lot of political help from the current administration, but they also spent a shit ton of money getting there, right? So the cool part is they get to sell Rare Breed Triggers again. Cool, that's good for all of us, all right? But
well, that's good for them. You know, and that's the problem is that, like, yeah, I want Rare Breed to be able to sell their triggers and to, defend their patents legally. I think that's fine. But I don't want, it's like if Ford gets granted a patent for a car and then they go after every other manufacturer to be the only manufacturer around. Suddenly it's like, it's not that I hate Ford, I'm a really big fan of their founder. But at the same time, I don't want you to, use the legal system to remove all of your competition in the US market. I feel like that's not actually good for all of us, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
all of us I'm not in that all of us, by the way. Who's
What
this
is
we
this?
you're talking about?
This guy looks like, so there's some character from like a claymation or something. Has a very uncanny face with like sunken in cheeks and the small spread apart eyes. He looks just like, I can't remember what it is, but I've seen it before and it's terrifying. Someone in the comments probably knows.
It's the 1,000-yard stare, okay? After you've killed enough brown people, you'll get it.
They had to agree to uphold their end of the bargain because they don't want to get screwed out of that and lose their rights and our rights to have forced reset triggers. So again, I love my forced reset triggers. I think everybody has the right to own one. Hell, I think everybody has the right to own a machine gun. No machine guns without a ton of money and paperwork. However, for right now, we can have forced reset triggers thanks to Rare Breed.
Again, he keeps saying thanks to Rare Breed and all this other stuff over and over again. It reads a little bit like an ad, right? I'm not crazy. There's some subliminal messaging going on here that there's some sort of relationship between him and Rare Breed that's not being discussed. That isn't brought up at all. I'm not crazy here, am I?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Vintage, this is the guy who was like, you know what I want to do today? I'm going to publish a video in late 2026 about supporting Rare Breed triggers. Of all of the things to do, and listen, we've got a lot of people saying stupid stuff online in the last couple of days, okay? But this was like biggest channel saying something stupid, and we'll work our way down in terms of channel size and up in terms of stupidity, okay?
For all you haters out there, hate if you want, but I'm very thankful that Rare Breed Triggers saw this thing all the way through to the end. Not just for them, but they did it for me. They also did it for you, which is totally badass because I love having the ability to lay down suppressive fire. Y'all take care.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Anyways,
What an interesting end to a video.
That's the problem is there's not much in it. It's 4 minutes long. There's not actually any content. He's basically like, I don't care that Rare Breed is suing everyone. Just take your stupid $400 trigger and be thankful, you brat. Which is funny. Okay, that is actually a very boomer coded thing to do. It's like, I don't care that I ruined your economy and flooded your place with 100 million immigrants. Take your 10% interest rate and your $1 million homes and be thankful, you retarded brat. It's like the exact same energy. It's like, okay, boo. All right. All right, bud. All right.
This is a retarded take.
Jake cries out in pain as he's told to stay with white women. Ah, that's so funny.
I love how I can make one little comment like that and everybody loses their mind.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, when you get less views on a million sub channel than my streams have after like the first couple of hours, not a good day. Not a good day for you guys.
And you asked me if I knew this guy. Of course I don't know.
He has some banger videos in the past, okay? I just thought, you would know. Not like you're a co-host on the biggest firearm show on YouTube. Huh? What?
I honestly didn't even, I don't even know if that's true.
Let's see. So there's got to be some fun ones in here. Someone said bro eats hot dogs with his ass for sure. Funniest. That's funny. Not to mention they are suing people over patent infringements when they blatantly didn't infringe. That's again the biggest problem. First off, I think a super safety is nothing like Rare Breed. True. It's a cassette style trigger, not a modified safety. Plus $500 is ridiculous for a trigger pack. Nice shilling. Wow, tell me you took money from Rare Breed without telling me you took money from Rare Breed. Exactly. Yes. Stop it. Let's see. Imagine standing with someone who is not pro 2A, as specifically pro ATF, and goes after hardworking, smart American people who created their own designs. True. The issue with Rare Breed is that they're going after people and companies they don't have to, who blatantly did not infringe on their patent. I don't know who Tim Hoffman is. I agree. Many of the commentators don't know what they're talking about. Okay, but hey, this is AK74. He's probably going to comment on this video later. Yeah. You can't say I don't know who Rare Breed is and then call all the commentators wrong. Tim Hoffman's design is unique. Yeah, here it is. You are correct. I have no idea who Tim is. And people respond, this will be the defining moment of your reputation. This is a big deal, okay? Reddit and the online space loves FRTs, okay? FRTs are the bee's knees. Everyone should own them. Everyone should have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and you know, all the other fun stuff, whatever. So anybody going after them, like Rare Breed is, which I agree is totally immoral, wrong, probably illegal, or at least incorrect application of their patent law, right? I totally side with all that stuff. But again, in the outside world, like nobody really cares all that much. You know, Rare Breed's still going to make a ton of money.
Well, look at the bright side. He can still delete the video, and then everybody doesn't know because nobody's seen it.
Well, again, it's only 3,000 people that have seen it, bro. It's not too late. This video is paid for by Rare Breed, almost possibly. You eat hot dogs solely for the mouthfeel. Your next video will be a collab with T-Rex Arms. Well, isn't that good timing? Because we're about to look at T-Rex Arms.
I do have a comment though.
Go,
I'm sorry.
go for it.
I know that was a perfect transition. I was listening at work today, listening to Sean Ryan's show, recent episode he did with Sean Strickland. Interesting interview. Very strange. But towards the end, there was a conversation, a pretty long conversation about SIG and Sean Ryan's SIG partnership. And it felt a lot like this video for some reason. It was very interesting.
Well,
might be worth
listen.
covering on the next stream.
Yeah, we could take a look at that. Well, listen, if I was somebody who was getting paid millions of dollars by SIG to show their products and give their products to every guest on my show, and I knew they were going in some turmoil, you know what I would do? Absolutely nothing. Okay. If I'm a immoral or amoral, Sean Ryan, I am going to not look into that at all. Anytime somebody tells me about SIG, okay, I'm not looking the gift horse in the mouth. I'm not looking under the hood. Sorry. I don't care what smell is coming from the closet. Okay. It might smell like dead bodies in there. Well, listen, that check is oh so sweet. Okay. And that the smell of the check is better than whatever's coming out of the closet, with like the brown ooze mixed with red seeping in underneath the door. And you're like, I don't know what's in there. I'm just going to leave it closed.
Yeah.
Okay. Because better to not know. Ignorance is bliss.
It was just interesting because he did mention the airman that got shot, that specific incident, which turned out to be malicious. And so that was like his whole argument. Like, see, it was actually just this. So this disproves all the other issues. And I'm like, it's a really bad argument. But
yeah. The Helen Keller business model. That is funny. Unsubscribe has a bigger impact than thumbs down. Lost a little respect. Yeah, it does not go well. Here's Despop. Imagine being completely ignorant about an issue and taking a stance on it so poorly you need to check the paid endorsement box for this one, which I don't think that he did. Stupid take, not surprised. Yeah, he's getting roasted. Only 245 likes too. 961,000 subscribers, bro. Yikes. Sorry, bro. That is tragic. Absolutely tragic. But let's move up in the world, shall we? We're going to talk about T-Rex Arms. Let's go. Specifically a T-Rex.
Isaac Botkin jump scare.
Okay, ladies, you're in the woods. This guy pops out at you. You take this or the bear? Let me know, okay? This is the ultimate feminist question. All right. Anyways, so like a week ago, I joked about applying for the T-Rex Arms CEO position, which I did apply for, by the way. I still haven't heard back yet. I haven't given up hope. I'm sure that my application is sitting somewhere in an important folder that's waiting to be gone through. I'm sure there were other qualified candidates that I'm also battling it out with, so to speak. But I'm waiting for the call, okay? However, one of the... my holster, please. He has a Titan in his hand, and he's just like, please buy the Titan, please. Okay, sales haven't been great. Please buy the Titan. It's just I feel bad for the guy almost. I'm like, oh, that's not fun. It's like you meet a guy in the woods. It's like the homeless guy who's trying to get a couple bucks from you, and you're like, oh, I don't hate you. I feel pity more than anything else right now. Anyways. The single piece of advice that I have continued to give T-Rex Arms for over a year now would help them out so much. So much. What you should do is shut up. Stop responding to comments. Stop talking about Lucas. Lucas, for all intents and purposes, should not exist to you, okay? You're in a current legal battle with lawyers fighting it out. Man, anything that you say can and will be held against you. So you should just shut up. All right. You need to hire a PR firm that's just Trip Incorporated. Okay. 60K retainer. I'll work for you for the whole year. I'm going to give you great advice. And it's just shut up. Anytime you come with me to an idea about how to make a public statement, I'm just going to tell you to shut up. Okay. Right? It all gets filed in the exact same folder that happens to look identical to a paper shredder. Shut up. Now, Ben, I watched Ben's video on this thing, and he's a hater. Okay, I'm not a hater because I actually don't dislike Isaac. I've met Isaac. I've talked to him a couple of times. I'm not going to say that I know the guy. Okay, I've talked to him for like 10 minutes in my entire life. He seems like a reasonable fella. I liked some of the stuff that he's done. I don't have any animosity or ill will towards him. I think the way that he's handled this situation has been horrible, terrible, disastrous in terms of, not only his personal reputation, but the reputation of T-Rex Arms and the well-being of his employees, right? The whole point, allegedly, on their part of taking Lucas out and not acquiescing to his demands to buy out T-Rex Arms from them was to protect the employees. And now they're laying off the employees that they tried to protect allegedly again in the first place. So how's that working out for you? Not great, not a great plan, not a great business move to essentially kick the founder out of the company and then publicly bash him before he makes a post, right? Don't do that. That's dumb. That's stupid. Again, 60K retainer fee. You get Trip Incorporated media coverage thing, okay, for a whole year. All right, it's very simple. Travel is extra, and I'll just tell you to shut up every time. Just shut up. Stop talking about anything. What did you send to me, Richard? Here, is this funny?
Yes.
It is super sad though because
fuck up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shut up and shut the fuck up.
Okay, fair enough. That actually should be a sounder. That's really good.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he responds to comments. Isaac Botkin does. Don't do that. First off, okay, again, anything that's sensitive, public, that you're fighting about, unless you want to give me more content, which again, Ben is like, yeah, just do it. Please keep talking. Please do this. He's a hater. He wants you to fail. He wants you to mess up. He wants you to say stupid stuff. He wants you to get upset. I don't, okay? I'm still going to cover it every time you do. But personally, just be quiet, right? Solve the situation as amicably as you can and move on with your life, okay? The sooner you do that, the sooner you can go about with all the other things in your life. So, anyways, comment on the T-Rex Arms page says, cool, can you address Lucas not getting paid? Isaac Botkin responds, don't do that. He will get paid for any shares he sells. If he continues to refuse to sell, there's nothing to be paid for. Now, that might, in a way, be true, right? But what he's not mentioning there is that the price that they're offering him for his shares, which I forget if it was 30 to 40% of T-Rex Arms, I forget the exact number. Anyways, the price that they're offering him is like 30% of what it's worth, right? And so, yeah, he's quote unquote refusing to sell, but his argument would be, and as he posts here in just a second, you're refusing to pay me what I'm owed according to the shareholders agreement that we all signed, right? So it's like, I don't know, if you have a car worth 40K and I come up to you and say, here's $10,000, all right? And you're like, no, 40, that's what we agreed upon, that's what it's worth, let's go. And I'm like, well, man, the guy's refusing to sell, what can I do? I have money for him. If he wants my money, he'll sell it to me. But until he does, he's just, he's not getting a dime out of me. It's a little Semitic, isn't it? It's a little Semitic to be like, listen, here's our agreed to selling price. And then you show up with a quarter or 30 or 35% of it. And it's like, no, that's not what the deal was. It's like, listen, these guys are going to spend a lot of money on lawyers, a lot of money. Okay. And the reason why they're willing to both fight out so much money in terms of lawyer fees, like literally more money than I've ever made in my entire life, they are going to fight out in lawyers' fees. is because the delta between what was promised and what was offered is so great. All right. We're talking about a delta of many millions of dollars here, which is like, okay, fine. If you want to fight it out, it's worth it to fight it out because I actually want my money that I'm owed. So Lucas Botkins responds, I have not been made an offer that aligns with what is required in the shareholder agreement or is in line with the most recent company evaluation. Now, I haven't seen the shareholders agreement. I don't have a copy of that or anything else to share with you guys, but allegedly, again, it was you owe the certain percentage of the company at its most recent valuation or its current valuation, right? So the problem with this is that T-Rex Arms, the new T-Rex Arms post Lucas Botkin is going to say, well, T-Rex Arms now is only worth a third of what it was a year ago. So that's really all you should be owed. But it's like, no, our shareholder agreement says that it needs to be, the price at the termination point, right? Which is why the delta is so big. Does T-Rex Arms actually have the cash on hand? Almost certainly not. That's why they've laid off about 30% of their staff. At least I've heard higher numbers. And they're having issues with the cash flow problem. The Titan holster, which again, I still have, I hope to film it a little bit this week, is reportedly not selling particularly well for them. They need that launch to do extremely well. I just think that the holster game has kind of changed in a way from when T-Rex Arms first started, right? When T-Rex Arms first started, they were unique. They were interesting. They had youthful energy. And now it's like the market that they live in is so saturated, is so filled with other people that you can buy your holsters from and you can get a T-Rex, sidecar style holster from, that it's not like, why I don't need to go to T-Rex anymore. T-Rex doesn't fill a niche anymore. Right? T-Rex doesn't do really anything all that cool. The Titan is like the coolest thing, in quotation marks, that they've done in a long time. And it doesn't seem to really change the needle at all. So T-Rex Arms without Lucas, without, new products or an exciting proposition for you and I, doesn't really have to exist. They do have assets though. So Lucas could be, if Lucas wins a legit cash settlement with like some sort of payment plan, in terms of their arbitration or whatever else it's going to be, like they're probably going to end up having to sell a bunch of machines and stuff like that, or whatever assets they have on hand. Maybe they might have $1 million in guns, which isn't going to be enough to cover it, but they have assets that they might be forced to liquidate to satisfy Lucas's debt or the debt they have to Lucas. Now, what's interesting about that is, should they be forced to hand over huge amounts of assets and cash and whatever else they might have, will they even be able to continue functioning as a company in terms of their manufacturing process? They'll still be able to carry stuff, because selling products that you carry physically requires like a building, a computer and a shipping station. Like, it's not that complicated. You need like a warehouse space with preferably some shelves in it, even though that's not even required, right? But in terms of the whole manufacturing side of things, that's a lot more complicated to get done without any machines.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, the advice I continue to give people, or specifically to T-Rex Arms, is just stop talking. Just stop talking.
All that being said, though, Isaac Botkin, you should come on the stream and talk it out. Let us know what's going on. Let's hear your side.
You know what's funny about that, okay? There is an interview happening with Isaac Botkin, not by me, but I am aware of, and I know the channel is going to happen on. Nice. Can I give away the information? I can give away the information. It's going to be good. I'm going to share it anyways. But Isaac specifically did not want to go on a live stream. So he's not going on a live stream. He's doing an interview on another channel, okay? And I'm going to be very real, even though I know that the channel that's getting it is going to be good. And I know that they're going to do a good job. And it's going to be really big for them. It's going to be good for the channel to get him on. It's a big get.
Grenade?
It's not Trench Grenade. But I literally, Isaac, if you end up watching this, don't give the interview. I know it's going to hurt that channel. And I know it's because I actually like the guys on the channel. So it's going to be bad for them. But you, Isaac, should not go on the channel.
I think I know who it is now.
He might, but you should not. You should not do the interview. I'm telling you right now, this is your free, like your 12th free advice, that I should be getting paid $60K again for the retainer. Don't go on the channel. Do not give the interview. Just don't say anything. Okay. It's going to be very bad. And well, actually, but that's the thing. It's like, I am torn here. Okay. I have two minds. Number one, Isaac, stop it. Don't go on there. It's going to be terrible. But on the other side of it, bro, I'm going to get to react to the entire interview, and it's going to be like a 4 or 5 hour stream. I know, Hook. That's the thing. It's going to be great in terms of like my personal content. It's going to be terrible for Isaac, though. It's like, stop it. Tell me what's good about this company. Yeah. It's not Shark Toast Tactical. Come on. Unbelievable. Jeez. No, but listen, okay, I did reach out to Isaac like a year ago, and he said no, or he didn't respond or something. So I'm not good enough, apparently. He doesn't want to come on and talk to you guys live, which I get. I get that he does not want to do a live event because he probably watched the Brandon Wombat stream and realized that did not go down in the way that he wanted it to. Lucas Botkin in the chat says live streams are no balls. Okay, that's a little brotherly rivalry here, which is quite funny. That adds another layer to it. But no, I know Isaac is going to be doing another interview. It might have actually already happened. But the video, because it's not live, will be coming out in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. Again, I would really recommend against doing that. I think that's a really stupid thing to do, Isaac, if you're going to do an interview and talk about your brother and the drama and the legal stuff, because it just seems like it opens you up for more trouble than it's worth. Because you're not going to put anybody over to your side of the thing. The internet kind of has already made up its mind. It's made up its mind like a year ago.
Do you think Lucas has the opportunity to countersue for the damages that were done to T-Rex Arms as a whole? Because they have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders.
Actually, that's
correct?
Funny. Is he? He's technically still a shareholder if he
technically
he
has 1/3 of the company.
That would actually be kind of funny. I don't know how that works though, right? Because if you say that you're going to sell your shares and then the company tanks, again, that's for people who get paid way more money than me to figure out. Like again, the lawyers are just going to fight all of that stuff out. But again, it seems stupid because anything that you say can be used against you, right? Especially if this goes before a judge for arbitration or whatnot, right? The judge is going to look at the totality of evidence that you can provide. So if your opposition says a lot of stupid, defamatory, incorrect stuff about you, not going to look good for them. So again, your best course of action is to say almost nothing. That'd be fun. It would be fun to get him on the live though. Okay, Brandon did it.
Don't
it didn't
say
work
anything, please. But if you would like to.
But if you want to, okay, you should do it here. Okay, that would be very funny. All right, I want to get to, actually, Lucas is in the chat. So it ties into this though, okay? Because I think that's all I have to say about that situation. But now, an even better topic, okay, that everyone loves to talk about. This is very important, much like the vertical foregrip debate. I actually think that Jesse Cinco and Lucas have devised a marketing strategy here. This is my big brain take that involves saying things that are kind of correct, right? But intentionally rage baiting, like intentionally baiting everyone. Okay. On the surface, they might seem, okay, but the point is not about the actual take itself. It's to drive engagement. And I think it's kind of worked out. And so I think it started with the vertical foregrips that literally everyone and their mom had to talk about. And now it's a new one. Okay, we're back. Okay, we're back to 2018, 19 timeframe where we're back to arguing red dot magnifier versus LPVO versus ACOG. And Jesse Cinco, who, if you're not familiar with, is one of the guys at Adaptive Defense. I've talked to him. I like him. I think he's very good at what he does. I think there's some, silly things every now and again that he says, like, again, kind of embroiling everybody up in the vertical foregrip debate, which, while you might be true on or correct on a technical level, isn't all that important of a topic, but this one is funny. So we're going after LPVOs. Okay, LPVOs are the big bad in the big 2.6. Why aren't LPVOs the primary optic of choice for pistol caliber carbine, PCC, and USPSA? And on the surface, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Why aren't, if LPVOs are so good, why aren't pistol caliber carbine shooters using them for USPSA, if they're so good? And I don't think this take is off. All right. It's silly. Yeah. It's like, why don't people use Miatas in F1? If Miatas are such a fun driving car, why don't they use them in Formula One?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, no, they have a very, very, very different use case. It's like, dude, I don't know if you go to a lot of USPSA matches, but like the North Dakota State Championship that I was just at, one carry optics in, by the way. Anyways, 30 yards maybe was the furthest shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 30-yard mini, 25-yard mini popper was the furthest shot that they had. So, of course, in USPSA distances, even if it's 40, 50, 60 yards, of course, like it's not applicable to USPSA. It's just not. So
yeah.
The whole question is based off of like a false premise. Like nobody argues that LPVOs are better or superior than red dots up close.
No, nobody. That's not the argument. The argument has always been like there are some LPVOs that perform well enough at 1x to where you will take the advantage of having the extra magnification. It's a little bit of a trade-off. But saying that for USPSA, PCC, that you're going to take the extra weight, you're not going to throw your lever to engage a target in a USPSA match. I'm sorry,
no,
it's just not going to happen.
I need 6x to hit that no shoot at 25 yards, whatever it is. Lucas says, actually, people do. LOL. I'm sure that somebody out there does. Okay, but that's the same type of people that say like the AK is the greatest firearm of all time, right? We don't need to treat those people as human, right?
Those people are mentally retarded.
Yeah, it's not those people, like we just disregard them at all. But listen, like if you look at outside of USPSA, because I would say the disadvantages to an LPVO and USPSA is obviously one, the 1Xs aren't perfect. Two, they're way bigger and way heavier. 3, the eye box, and 4, if you actually look at like pro USPSA PCC shooters, which is a totally different breed of animal, like most of the gamer guns are super lightweight and they utilize 2 red dots. Why? Because there are some really awkward leans in USPSA, and so sometimes legitimately having a second red dot for weird leans works great. And so yes, you will see a lot of USPSA PCC shooters that are very, very good use 2 red dots, one normal and one offset, because again, there are weird leans where doing a super hard lean with a PCC means that your head has to be that much further that way, and it's easier just to have an offset, right? However, if we switch this into PCSL or 2-gun matches or 3-gun matches where you're shooting out to between, let's say, 3 and 600 yards, now it flips, right? LPVOs now dominate most rifle setups, right? Like in the last rifle match that I was at, we were only shooting out to 300 yards, but shooting like a 3 MOA target at 300 yards is way easier with an LPVO, identifying the target, doing all that sort of stuff, than it is with a red dot magnifier. Red dot and magnifiers absolutely work. They're absolutely general purpose. They absolutely are kind of the standard, if you will. They're the default, if you will, right? Most people will get away with that. But in certain competitions, like when I was in Washington shooting their 2-gun retro out to 600 yards in wind, the guys who won the match are all either using LPVOs or MPVOs. They're getting by on the short range stages and then having something that's capable of getting out to 600 yards very quickly, repeatably, effectively, yada, 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 especially when you're spotting targets for the first time. Right? That's where that magnification really comes into play. So I don't think that anyone should ever argue that LPVOs are the ideal optic because they're not. By definition, they're a compromise between
Yeah.
a long range that gives you a 1x, right? 6x isn't that much magnification. But at 500 yards, I would much rather have 6x over a 3x magnifier because I think, one, most magnifiers don't look all that good behind a red dot. Most 2 MOA dots, like it actually covers up a lot of the target at certain distances, right? So like if I'm shooting a plate rack at 150 yards that goes down to a know your limits plate rack, which we have at the range that I go to, at 150 yards, that 2-inch square is 2-inch circle is very much obscured by a red dot. It's almost not impossible, obviously. You can do it, but it's much more repeatable. It's much more intuitive with a 6x, LPVO, right, at that distance.
I love the comment from Gecko. LPVO is the best. Puts red dot on top. That's
I know. See, that's the thing. I agree. Isn't that is perfect though? Although using a red dot on top of an LPVO sucks.
It's not great.
It's backup or passive night vision, which is also like a niche within a niche. It's like my night vision gun also has an ATACR on it, which is like, that's cool, I guess, but we could make something way more efficient, for a night vision gun. The problem is people want their guns to do everything. Like every gun has to do everything, So there's like, no, my gun must be an 11.5 with 8x magnification, with a top dot, with a white light, with an NGOL, whatever else it might be, and a bipod and suppressed and a foregrip on there so that I can access all my tape switches. And I feel like while technically you might be able to do everything with that, it just kind of sucks at everything now. It's not actually good at anything. Like I think even Lucas, this was a couple weeks ago, he was running an ATACR with a LRF on top, which is like a really silly looking setup to have one of the laser range finders, built into your, with the drop calculations and all that other stuff on top of an LPVO. Looks really silly. Actually would crush at a couple competitions, if you're doing like up close stuff and then there's like a 600 yard or a 500 yard switch that you need to like hit a unknown target at an unknown distance, would actually kill on a couple of stages and then suck everywhere else, right? But I think people come to the LPVO discussion in the wrong way, right? You should understand that this is not the standard. This is if you are going to be doing shooting like out to 400 yards or further, right? But also using like a lot of up close stuff. So that's the thing where it's like, it's a weird zone. Like if you're the type of guy who only shoots inside of 50 yards, like having an LPVO is worthless. It's bad. They're more expensive. They're way heavier. They perform worse. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you're a 2-gun or a 3-gun guy where your matches go from literally 0 to 600 yards in the shortest amount of time frame possible, unfortunately, the most efficient way to do that is an LPVO most of the time. It's like, what's the most winning LPVO of all time? Vortex Razor HD Gen 2. Probably still. Most 3-gunners are using something similar to that, right? Because it gives them up close performance, not as good as a red dot, but pretty darn good. And also very quickly gets them out to 400, 500, 600 yards repeatedly with good glass, daylight bright reticle, all that other sort of fun stuff. I mean, now I know some guys who do competitions and they like to run the Gen 3 1 to 10 because it has that refractive illumination that's also daylight bright with a very complex reticle. There's some other scopes out there that do that well, the ATACR, blah, 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 blah. But again, probably the most winningest LPVO of all time is the Vortex Razor HD Gen 2. Which again, if you look, it's all about changing the style of competition and tailoring the setup for what you want to do with it. So like the USPSA question, to bring it back to Jesse here, why aren't LPVOs the primary optic of choice for PCC and USPSA? It's because they suck for USPSA, because they're not good at that game. They're very good at 2-gun or 3-gun. Right? It's the same reason why I wouldn't make this argument for like, a ZCO 5 to 27. It's like, oh, if you think they're good, why not have them up close? Although, to be fair, I have heard people say that they can use their 3 to 18 up close just as good as a red dot. And those people I also think are retarded, and I don't take them seriously, right? It's like somebody's like, oh, I can get away with using my 3X on, in CQB or whatever it happens to be. It's like, have you ever done it? No, of course not.
I think a lot of people are retarded, John.
Yeah, it happens. But anyways, I think this is also one. It is true that LPVOs suck for USPSA, just objectively true. That's why nobody used them. But this is bait, and that's what everybody is calling it out for. I must congratulate you on excellent bait. Lucas says, because the courses are set up for pistol ranges. Why aren't LPVOs the primary optic of choice for competitive PCC? I don't think positive ID is a big deal, says Grantham, which is correct. This got to be rage bait. Truk. I'm putting an LPVO on my open gun. That would be very funny. No USPSA stages need magnification. That's also true. I think, again, the furthest shot I've taken at USPSA is 60 yards. Like a 60 yards, like big popper thing that was like 12 inches at 60 yards, which, again, for pistol shooters, they're going to look at that and be like, this is the hardest shot I've ever taken in my life. Most USPSA shooters, if you get outside at 20 yards, they start to freak out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I could do it for fun. I have a rifle match on Saturday, and it's all going to be gamers, like up close stages. I was going to run the Geisley 14.5, but I could put like a really cheap LPVO on one of my rifles, and I could there's a couple good shooters there, so I wouldn't say that I'd guaranteed still to win, but I probably could still win if I wanted to, if I performed well. So maybe I will. Fine, Lucas. All right. I'll shoot USPSA stages with a rifle, and I'll do it with an LPVO, okay? I'll get it done. Whatever. Anyways, thoughts on LPVOs, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys love LPVOs, and Jake, you're a big defender.
Yeah, I mean, I don't shoot rifle very much, so I'm kind of a fraud, but I have an LPVO on my rifle, my singular AR-15, and I like it just because it's versatile. I don't have all these delusions of grandeur and crazy hypothetical scenarios that I'm going to use my rifle in.
All right, but hypothetically, Jake, what's the farthest you've ever shot at with it?
I've taken it up to 200. I have some range limitations here, so I can't really shoot super far.
You can step out your front door and look to your right, and there's like 600 yards of street right there.
But I don't shoot. Yeah, that's true. But I don't shoot in my neighborhood, John.
But everybody else does. Just do it. Why don't you do it, bro?
No.
You pay for the neighborhood. Use the whole neighborhood.
I pay for this damn neighborhood. I'm gonna use it. Yeah, but I just think LPVOs for like the city I live in, or whatever hypothetical scenario could happen, I think they're good. I like them.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, I think that's enough of LPVOs for me. I don't want to talk about them anymore. I've talked about them too much at this point in time. Should we skip this? Do you guys care about Harbor Freight weapon lights?
Oh, they were on sale on Saturday.
Yeah, they're like $60, right?
They were okay. My brother actually sent me this on a text message. He said $35.
No way.
And I forgot. And I'm kicking myself for that.
$35 is insanely cheap.
I know.
Everybody is saying to skip, so we're gonna skip it. Anyways, Works Holsters put out I'll do like 30-second TLDR here. Works Holsters put out a video because they do a lot of good weapon light testing, and they were testing the Streamlight TLR HL versus the Braun, which is, I've never seen one of those in person, versus the Harbor Freight. Now, the Harbor Freight, when it came out, they got sued for having a weapon light that was literally identical to the TLR1. And so they had to change like the ring around the bezel and whatnot. However, it ends up performing in terms of their sample size almost identically, if not better, to the OG Streamlight TLR1 HL. And in fact, it probably comes off of literally the exact same assembly line, was some of the conspiracy theories around that, which is why it performs, again, nearly identical. The takeaway, though, at the end of this video, which you wouldn't necessarily think given the data that they provided, is that they don't recommend it because they don't like the copycat industry, which I can understand that sort of mentality, but also that it's made in China, which you might raise a slight eyebrow at. because the Streamlight is also made in China. And I love Streamlights. I have a couple TLR1s. I think they're the best weapon light on the market. Not actually the best, but I use them and all my holsters are TLR1. So I'm kind of locked in. Okay. Crack Viking, you don't need to send me one. They're $50, dude. I'll buy one myself.
Send me
okay.
one. Send me
Yeah, that's
one,
right.
Crack
Jake
Viking.
needs them. Okay. Jake will do wonderful taste testing on the Harbor Freight weapon lights.
This YouTube shit needs to start paying off. All right.
That's
Gotta
right.
Start getting some shitty lights.
So, they're not bad. That's the problem. Okay. Even in their own testing, like they both come in higher lumens, higher candela than rated. They come in slightly above the Streamlight, the real deal, and they're half the cost or like a little bit less than half the cost. Right.
It is so funny because I do think there's a large portion of the population that thinks Streamlight is made in America, which is funny.
Well, they do have some stuff that they say like this is
assembled
in the US. And I don't know if that's just the packaging. Right. And it's like, I don't really believe you. Again, I don't know what assembly means. Like we put the battery in it in the US or the packaging is packaged in the US.
They put the little battery sticker in there to keep it from
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like maybe that's what they mean by assembled, but I'm pretty sure it's entirely actually produced, built, machined, the electronics put together over in China, right? So I think Streamlight, obviously, they've been a very successful company. They, have a good reputation for their lights in the modern era. I have a lot of their rifle lights. I have a lot of their pistol lights. And really, I'm a poor person. So the only thing that's kept me out of the Surefire ecosystem is that they're 2 to 2.5 times as expensive as Streamlight. That's literally it. And I don't have anything against Surefire. It's just literally, I could, I suppose, drop a couple $1,000s to update all of my lights, but I'm not, it's like I have a light on my carry gun, I have a light on some of my rifles, but I'm not actually going to be using them in any sort of real world circumstance outside of like a Halloween match and another night match coming up. But even those, I'll probably just be using NVGs for that. So Randy Reviews It comes in with a retarded take saying the Olight PLX is actually good.
Can we kill him?
No, you can't actually. His body is 3A rated.
Can we render his fat down and like power a lamp or something?
You could probably turn him. Dude, imagine if he was in one of those camps, where they were putting people into lampshades and whatnot. Yeah. You could make a whole line of lampshades and call them Randy's,
You can make a whole sofa, I think. A whole leather couch. There's an idea.
Soap? Yeah, okay. All right. You think they turn those people into soap? You must not be familiar with their hygiene.
They hooked us up to the masturbation machine.
Oh, stop it. Okay, guys. You know what I love? Sports ball. Jake, Richard, you guys are sports ball fans?
No.
I love sports ball. Anyways, you know who loves sports ball though?
Black people?
Minorities love sports ball. Sports ball is essentially their god. It's essentially their deity. Think about it. Their entire week is not wrapped up and centered around the church and the Christian God, right? It is centered around sporting events, right? Their entire life doesn't revolve around a liturgical calendar, but off of a team calendar, right? They even have cycles and celebrations and all of these other things and rituals that they do, right? There's certain sacrifices that they make, certain games that they play and whatnot, right? So for the masses, sports ball to ethnics is sort of like their god, their stand-in for what should be a god, right? And you know who needs to sell to minorities? Palmetto State Armory, because this is so funny. Palmetto State Armory is sorry, I'm still laughing. Is sponsoring football. That's right. Nothing says American quality like overpriced beer and mediocre American games, And I'm not somebody who hates the concept of sports. I actually think sports is a great thing for children to be involved in, to learn teamwork, to learn to learn camaraderie. I think that having national pride, local pride, whether it's city or state or anything like that, I think all of those things are very good to have as a society, as a culture. Like small town football or small town sports is an event. It is cool. It is nice to see our kids are better than those kids over there. Our progeny is better, right? We will defeat. It's good to have that. Now, the monetized Globo Homo version of that, which is all modern Major League sports, every single one. I mean, literally, it's just like we can't do slavery anymore. They don't like that. So let's buy and sell blacks and call it football or something, right? Right. That's basically the whole thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm not interested in that level of sports because that is used as a vehicle to push degeneracy, to push gambling, to push consumerism, to push goy slop, goy feed, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And really, when you talk about like national pride or even local pride, it's like, oh, I love the Seattle Seahawks with 12 Africans and like a random Hawaiian guy and this guy. It's like, are any of them from your area? No. Do any of them care about your area? No. Do they? And it was like, how can you have like a state pride or national pride in any of these people who are just random inserts, for Globo Homo? It's like the French football team. By football, I mean soccer for them, of course. It's like, spoiler alert, none of them are French. Like, who cares? Oh, the French team won at something. No, it's like we bought a bunch of Africans and threw them in there so that they could run around and be good at sports ball. Yeah.
France
and then they use it as a demoralization tactic. Sorry, go ahead.
I said France has never won at anything.
That's not true. Okay. France was pretty baller up until a few events. Okay. Over the last few centuries. All right. France went hard. Okay. In the Middle Ages. I'm going to tell you. Okay. I know that's not popular here, but it's the truth.
You're going to get copyright strike for that.
I don't care, dude. Palmetto State Armory. Do you guys, all right. It's like, Matt, put yourself in the shoes. Okay. You have your uniform and you're just playing a sport, right? You don't care. And they're like, all right, guys, 5 guys just sponsored our team. So get ready to be slathered in 5 guys. Don't get excited, Jake. 5 guys logos, right? Is that exciting?
No.
No.
I know this is like, it's a funny joke, but can I be honest? This makes sense. This is
no,
PSA.
it is good marketing. Yes, go for it.
They're marketing to their target demographic because who buys PSAs other than the white boy, the poor white boy, who we hope one day they will move past PSA.
Jake,
but
what rifle do you own?
I own a rifle that has some PSA components.
Okay,
but it's been upgraded significantly since then. John.
I should have just let that one slide. I should have just ignored that.
But the target demographic for PSA rifles is usually people with a lower budget who are maybe ethnically ambiguous or black, just actually black, and who likes football, poor people, ethnically ambiguous, and black people.
True.
So it makes sense. And like, if they've been wanting to find a new ARP to slide on the ops, they're going to be like, oh, PSA? Let me check that out. Oh, shit, it's only 300. Damn. Then they buy it. And that's how that works. That's the circle of life, John.
You might be black. I think you're wearing white face and white gloves right now to be passing, dude. That was like, I was transported into downtown Chicago right there for a second. That was wonderful. Oh, lol. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm going to get roasted for that. That's terrible. Anyways, you have Palmetto State Armory jerseys. All that power hits the field at Wofford on August 29th. We're proud to be the jersey patch sponsor for the Citadel Bulldogs. That's right, dude. I don't know if I'd be proud to put on that uniform anymore. It's like, I got a sponsorship. I'm playing for this team. We're really good. And now I'm running around with fake lightning, swinging a Palmetto State Armory flag. It's like what I've been reduced to, which actually brings me to the next question. What would be the best gun company to be sponsored by that gives you prestige, that makes you feel like you belong, that you earn this? And then inversely, what would be the worst company outside of PSA to be sponsored by?
You know what I think is worse than PSA? It would have to be SIG.
Okay.
Because if you take a SIG sponsorship for whatever you may be doing, I think you're accepting anything at that point. You're like an OnlyFans whore. The best company? What's a based company? Bear Creek Arsenal. I think that would be pretty big.
Shut up.
No.
Keltec, that would be funny for different reasons.
Keltec would be awesome. If Keltec wanted to sponsor me, I would accept that. Yeah, everybody and their mother is sponsored by SIG. So
people saying HK is the best. Worst is High Point. Canik or Taurus. Yeah, dude, being sponsored by a cheap foreign company like T-Sauce. It would be embarrassing as an American to have to fly like a Turkish symbol on your, uniform, or a Turkish company on your uniform. Yeah, HK sponsored a hockey team. Well, that's very white coded of them. The last white sport. Okay. Focus Trip brought to you by IWI. Oh, that wins it. IWI, the worst one. Thank you for that. Thank you, Sinasper Rifleman. That's actually very funny.
Mossberg would be good.
Yeah,
I like Mossberg.
IWI. Heck yeah. I don't know. I think IWI would probably be the worst one personally, but also a Turkish company would look terrible. In terms of best, like, I don't know, you could pick like Geisley or BCM, or what would be really funny is to get a Knights Armament sponsored patch, right? But it's just the owner like hacking up a security camera. That would go really hard. I would wear that all day.
Did you say that would make you hard?
I think I said it would go hard, but I might have Freudian slipped there a little bit and said something I didn't mean to. But in my head, I said that would go hard.
Keep it together, man.
I'm trying to. Focus Trip's bedside gun is at DeVore. Ban that man. Mods, ban Nick Curdum. Get him out of here.
Kerr?
Nick Kerr to the
Happy
front.
Birthday to Nick Kerr.
Mode push T-Rex arms. That would be funny. What year? It's like, what kind of T-Rex arms fan are you? Okay. Are you a modern T-Rex arms fan or an old T-Rex arms fan? Let me ask you a question. All right.
They actually timed him out.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, bro. That is funny though.
Twice.
Ah, dude, timed out for 5. And then, dude, Brass and Rogue got him. Damn, double tapped by them. Double teamed by him. Rough day to be that guy. Sorry, man. All right. Oh no. Well, I saw this pop up, so I'll bring it up now. 94 Todd 5 says Jake told me that finger licking good implies the existence of toe sucking evil, and I
never said that. I've never said that. Toe
sucking evil, huh? Dude, I gotta use that as a line sometime. This is toe sucking evil right here. Oh, dude, that's good. That's so good. I'm gonna use that in a video. Maybe my next video when I'm talking about the Mark 1, I'll be like, "This is toe sucking evil." But just let it ride. Don't explain that at all. Anyway, speaking of things that, what? Go ahead.
I said that's appropriate.
Yeah. Speaking of things though that I don't care about at all, but I saw this floating around and I saw meme pages celebrating the announcement that M14s will be put on the secondhand market, or not the secondhand market, but sold again through CMP soon, so you can get your hands on some more surplus.
The Canadian Mounted Police are selling M14s.
That's true. Yes, you will be able to get Canuckistan M14s. Exactly what Jake said. That's a quote. Run with it, Jake. 2026. I don't care though. Maybe if I was my dad used an M14 in Nam and said it was the greatest rifle of all time. Not for me though. I don't know. Do you guys care about surplus at all? I know there's a few people in the chat who is like, yeah, dude, bring it on. I can't wait to get my hands on another surplus M14. But for me, it's like, oh, look, another outdated rifle that doesn't matter at all
Like,
in the landscape.
If I remember correctly, the shortest service rifle
It
in
is.
the military's history, right?
Yet. So far. Okay.
So far.
We've got time. We've got time, okay, to still do it. The M7's got like what, 2 years left? All right, to get kicked out. I mean, technically they've already moved on to the M8. So depending on how you're calculating the timeline, you could say that the M7 already had a shorter service life than the M14, considering that again, I think they're basically all moving on to the M8.
I've heard like less than desirable things about these rifles, and I don't know if it's true. I've never shot one. I've never messed around with one, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would prefer you to just opine with zero information because it's much funnier.
So based on
in-depth, can you give me an in-depth 2-minute review on the M14 rifle?
Based on my extensive experience with the M14 back in Nam, we were
Stolen Valor on top. Yes, let's go.
Back when we were fighting gooks in the triple canopy, I don't think it was great. You don't carry as much ammo. It recoils a lot, which would normally be okay because I'm a strong guy. But when I've got 1,000 gooks in front of me, I really just need to lay down the hate consistently.
Real hate.
So, and it's just so not modular, bro. No modularity. Where are you going to put your weapon light on this? Where are you going to put your laser, your IR laser? Come on, man. Think about it. So I'm going to give it like a 3 out of 10, honestly.
Fair enough. Announcement by special authorization. The CMP is pleased to announce the future availability and sale of surplus M14 rifles. Prior to the sale, the rifles will be modified to be permanently and irreversibly semi-automatic rifles, which as CNR Arsenal, hope you're doing well, sir, put in chat, which again, I think I was supposed to have the guy on the show again. Anyways, Richard should set that up. ATF has walked back always a machine gun because of that. Which is interesting, right? If because of the sale of these, they're actually like, well, you can sell these even though they were once a machine gun, but because they've been irreversibly switched to semi-auto, which I would love to see how irreversible that process really is. I am sure there are some very kind engineers in chat who would like to have a word with them on that irreversibility. The modified semi-automatic M14s will be fully compliant with CMP enabling legislation authorizing the transfer and sale of surplus military 30 caliber rifles. CMP anticipates the first order fulfillment in late 2026, early 2027. More details will be published on the M14 order submission process. Pricing, limits, and sales channels, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be very expensive, would be my guess. Now, very expensive to me is like $2,000.
How much are these?
No, we don't know exactly how much these surplus rifles will be going for. Post modification, I'm telling you, I think that these surplus rifles will be going for like $2,000. Now, as somebody else posted in chat earlier, the irony is that surplus used to mean cheap.
Yeah.
Like very cheap. And now surplus costs you as much as any top tier modern firearm, right?
What was it? It was like a $400 wall gun in Black Ops 2, I think. Black Ops 1.
That's true. Cheap. Very cheap.
Like, what are we doing here, guys? If I pulled this in the mystery box, I'd probably just shoot myself in the head.
I mean, if you look at like the modern M1A rifles, the MSRP is around $2,000. So that's weird to me. Like, I don't know, unless I'm just a collector and I have to have a surplus rifle, if they're going to be around $2,000, why wouldn't I just buy a new one? Am I crazy?
Because it doesn't have bodies on it, John.
Yeah, but none of these have bodies on them either, dude.
Yeah, they do.
Shortest service life in history, bro.
These got pulled straight out of the elephant grass. They were killing gooks left and right, John.
Maybe.
It's gonna have some
again,
Chungus Vietnam phrase carved into the stock. You just know it.
well, that's why like these are so old though. Like I wouldn't even necessarily want one of these as anything other than a collector's talking piece, basically. Like, oh, here's a real one that was really used, by someone. But if I actually wanted to shoot the thing, I would just buy a modern one, right? Or a new production of one that looks like the old thing if I actually wanted to shoot the thing,
Yeah.
For this to be a good buy, like it'd have to be like $800, $1,000, $1,200 to be a good buy, because again, the new ones are coming in at under 2K.
Here's my honest stance on the M14. I will never buy one, but if I inherited one, I would treat it. I would be like, wow, this is really cool, and I would cherish it, and I'd shoot it occasionally. But I'm not going to go out and buy one. If that makes sense.
Well, no, 100%. That's why you would buy this. That's why I would buy it. I would not want one of these as like, oh, I can finally get my hands. Because again, surplus used to be like the cheap thing. You could get it and get your hands on something and actually shoot it and use it without spending too much money on like a collector's model or something like that, right? Hence the name surplus, right? It's like back when Mosin Nagants were selling in a Sears catalog for $89, right? It's like, that's surplus. Of course, they're cheap. You can buy them and shoot them. Like the first rifle I ever shot was my brother bought 2 Mosins for $89 when he was 18 years old. And it was like really cool. It's like, hey, we have a couple of rifles we can go shoot. And that was one of the first rifles I ever shot.
Rifle you shot? How old are you?
Well, my older brother's like 11 years older than I am. So I was probably 7.
That sounds like a horrible first rifle to shoot.
8 or 9. Maybe I was a little bit older, It's like maybe there was a time I shot a 22, like a little before then. But the first rifle I remember shooting, all right, that stuck in my brain, okay, was a Mosin Nagant, all right?
You bruised your shoulder, right? You felt it for a few days.
Well, when you're a kid, you like barely hold on to it. You like get the muzzle up and you're like kind of scared of it. And your brother's like, or your dad is like putting, making sure that it's still in your shoulder, and then you pull the trigger and you're like, oh, it's basically that experience.
Yeah, you're like, oh heck,
oh darn, oh shoot.
Darn.
And then your brothers are laughing at you and your dad thinks it's funny, and it's like, yeah, it's just a great family experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I still have positive memories of those. All right. All right. Anyways, I think that's enough on that. For you M14 fans in chat, I hope it does what it needs to do for you. I'm not sure what that is, but I hope it does what it needs to do. All right. We're going to talk about announcements because this is something that I really enjoy talking about on this show, is when companies announce that there will be an announcement at a following date. So stay tuned for the next announcement, especially when it's Gideon Optics. Like, not to be rude, dog, but no one cares.
What's good about this optic?
Well, it goes on a Bodyguard 2.0. So again, it's ironic that we just talked about this as well, about how the Bodyguard came out with the Viridian optic from the factory, and that's like the worst option, and Gideon makes a better option. And then like 2 days later, they're like, hey, by the way, tomorrow there will be an announcement about the Gideon optic Pebble 2.0. So they put it up on their website, and they're like, what is even the point of this? I don't even understand this really from a marketing perspective, because it's like, hey, tune in tomorrow where we will sell you what is already on our website right now. Like, all right. Yeah, why did they blur it? I have no idea why they blurred it. To me, it's just very funny. It's very, very funny because it's such a nothing burger of a red dot from a company that no one cares about, on a super niche pistol platform. And it's like, it's not a brand new thing either. It's not like they announced like the first ever aftermarket red dot for the Bodyguard 2.0. It's like, no, here's version 2. Here's the slight update. Here's our announcement.
Maybe they just have really bad product photographers.
They actually ran out of bandwidth on their website. And they had to pay, like some services, it's like, oh, you want 4K photos on your website? Yeah, that's fine. You just need to pay us more money. These guys were like, what about 144p? Can I get a cut? Like, can I get a discount if I only upload photos in 144p? right? What if I can make it like 60 kilobytes? All right. What can you get me for that? They must be paid per pixel here. Okay. But it's not like, again, the Pebble 1.0 already exists. And this is literally the exact same thing with like maybe 1 or 2 updates. I hate this. You know, this is
what's
stupid.
special about it?
The only thing special about it is that it fits on a Bodyguard 2.0. You know, that's literally it. So we talked about this.
It doesn't like do your taxes for you?
No, but it might end up on your taxes if you claim it. I don't know, bro. I do love the AI lightning background. I think that's very tastefully done. You know, we are in the era, you know, we used to be like the American flag explosion era of like really badly done graphics. And now we're in the AI slop era, for lack of a better term. And of course, because I use the stuff as well, where it's like generate cool background with dynamic lighting and lightning streaking across with colors of red and blue or blue and yellow. And it's like, all right. And then you take the first one that looks cool and then you slap it on there, right? And that's just what everything is now, is some AI amalgamation monstrosity spit out by a language model, you know?
Hey, John, this took some old guy named Jeff 4 hours, all right? And you're shitting all over it.
Yeah, this is not. This is not this. Dude, see,
nice.
I wish if they used the low tier god meme for this and said something is coming, kill yourself July 28th, that would be hilarious. That would be based marketing, okay? That would have caught my eye. If I'm scrolling Instagram or X and I see that marketing, I'm like, what? Sorry, what? What am I doing on July 28th? That would have been good marketing. This, no, absolutely not.
Something is coming July 28th. It's me.
It's me. Spoiler alert, it's me. All right.
I've been saving it up.
You know, it's like we talk about it, but Beretta, I emailed one of their reps again today because we're waiting on the 94X to come because I have to buy 2 of them because I said the first company to do mommy ASMR on their video I would buy 2 of whatever it was, and it was a Beretta 94X. So I'm trying to get the insider price on a couple 94Xs, okay? Which supposedly aren't coming out till September. So still working on that, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't forgotten. My words come back to haunt me yet again.
I still haven't seen the 94X mommy ASMR video. I'll watch it on my own time.
No. We'll listen to it right now. I'm just going to search Beretta mommy ASMR.
Is it Italian?
No, it's not Italian. It's I have my Beretta, you suck. My video pops up first before my reaction to the Beretta trailer pops up.
Your
before
reaction,
the Beretta trailer.
big eyes going like this. So
no, it's not. It's not that bad.
Mr. Beast thumbnail.
Beretta, your channel. Something you need to hire somebody to manage your channel. There's like literally.
If you don't,
I'm not going to react to myself reacting to a video. That's retarded.
Guys, YouTube algorithm optimization tip here from Jake. If you don't do Mr. Beast thumbnails with Subway Surfers in 2026, you should probably just drink bleach because you're not doing it right.
Anyways, here we go. My apologies.
Shooter, make ready.
Locked and loaded. What stands between you and perfection?
Shooter, are you ready?
Always ready. Move fast. On your right, left, reload. Again. Stay focused. Go. Last shot.
I like to think this is the voice that Logan hears when he's running a stage.
I like it when the Beretta mommy tells me that she's proud of me. That's what plays every time I do well at a stage, by the way. Good job, Shooter. Thanks. Appreciate that. Thank you, Beretta. This is like the face of every disappointed dad when he walks in on you listening to mommy.
Disappointed Asian father.
JJ, who commented on one of my Instagram posts one time. It's very funny.
Why are you not doing your math homework, son?
Oh, son.
Very dishonorable.
What is the anime girl doing on your screen?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to this man. You said it's JJ. Is this JJ Rakaza?
JJ. This is JJ Rakaza.
I've never looked at his face before, so I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean
What
to.
part of it were you looking? Never looked at it.
I've seen videos of him shooting, but it doesn't like show his face. You know.
I see. So you were looking at him shooting, not
Yeah, John. I was looking at his body. Right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Listen, okay, for a man who I think is now entering his 50s, he keeps it tight. Okay, that's wrong
You believe this
phrasing.
guy?
Okay, he's in good shape. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Chat, is John gay for JJ Rakaza?
No. Why would you start that rumor? That's super.
Type
That's very,
1 for yes.
it's so unprofessional of you. I can't believe that. I forgot how we got off on this tangent. But speaking of getting off, we've got the SBA 6 before GTA 6 in 2026. We've got another pistol brace on the market. It's better. It's badder. It's more bracey than ever. It's the SBA 6, which again was another thing that they were like, hey guys, check it out in 3 days when we have our announcement of an announcement. Stay tuned for our announcement. It's going to be very exciting. Your SB
It's just
Tactical.
another brace, right?
It's just another brace. It's a way to make more money, dog. Like, I get it. Okay. I don't see the purpose of it, considering your last like 3 braces were all good in their own right. The SBA 5 is just fine. The SBA 6 is more like the SBA 3, and the cycle begins anew. Okay. It's like a trilogy. You had the 3, 4, 5, and now you got it's the reboot, 2026 reboot, the rehash of the classic SBA 6. All right. But just wait for the 6,
This is
7.
This
Okay.
is Glock.
That's
this
what
is
I'm
Glock
excited for.
iteration. This is like Glock innovation going on right here.
That's right.
Like you got it after what, number 2 or 3? You really don't
3.
need it.
Well, actually,
They
it's
really
weird
don't
though.
need-
Glock, honestly, like most sequels, Glock 2 did a lot of things right that kind of got messed up in Glock 3. Okay, like obviously I want the rail in Glock 3, but Glock 2 had the grip basically figured out. Glock
think Glock 4
4
is the
tried to
best.
hybrid between the 2 and 3, right? With the single finger groove. And then Glock 5 was like, no, we're starting off, we're going back to Glock 2. And then Glock 6 was the
Glock
weird
4?
experimental
You're
movie, like the
Are you
spin-off.
saying the Glock Gen 4 only had 1 finger groove?
Didn't the Gen 4 only have 1 finger groove?
No.
I know the Gen 3 has a bunch of finger grooves.
The Gen
'Cause
4
I have
has
a
a
Gen
bunch of
3.
finger grooves.
I thought the Gen 4 only had 1.
No.
Which one only has 1 finger groove?
I don't know. This is like the
I'm looking this up right now. I
this is
don't
like the
believe you.
uncanny valley. Guys, am I the only one who remembered a Glock with 1 finger groove?
Did I get sold like a knockoff Glock?
Maybe.
Or maybe they had smaller finger grooves.
What did you have, a
None have one?
26 or something?
I might be retarded, dude.
I know
None
your
have
hands
one?
are small. A
What-
26
what
is like a
Glock?
19 for you, right?
What Glock am I remembering? What?
The dagger only has 1, according to
No,
Traveler.
I am not supplanting those memories in my mind.
I'm right. Someone said I'm right for the first time. Gotta take a screenshot of this.
Maybe I'm retarded, dude. Or maybe I saw somebody who had removed the bottom 2 finger grooves on his Glock Gen 4 and thought that's how all Gen 4 Glocks were.
Mm-hmm. This is
Huh.
this is your Bernstein Bears moment.
This is interesting. All right, fine, whatever. I don't care.
Boom.
Fine. Back to the PSA or the whatever this is, the SBA Tactical Brace 6 or whatever they're calling it. Brace Revengeance. Do it again. 5 position adjustable, ambidextrous QDs. Designed in conjunction with Difrico. Oh no.
Oh no.
That's kind of a turnoff, bro. Yikes. I mean, what is that one grip? Is it the Kung Fu grip that every like influencer, tard, Instagram poster put on their rifles and pretended to love it? The Difrico grip, is that the one?
I don't
the
know.
Kung Fu
It
or
sounds
whatever
like
they
something
call it.
Randy likes.
Full rubber arm cuff. I don't put the rubber on the arm cuff. That's weird. Now, I don't know why this is a selling point unless you're trying to put it on some like folding brace or something really, really small, but thinner than the SBA 3. I'm like, why though? Like, why would I want a thinner stuff? I don't know about you guys, but I prefer like a little bit of cheek weld.
You prefer more cheek? You like it to be a little thicker?
Yeah, I prefer thicker. Don't you? Right?
Thicker stock?
What are we talking about?
What did you say, John?
Anyways, the SBA 6 is skinnier, gone on a diet, is now a slim
Ozempic.
SBA 3. The Ozempic SBA 3. Yes, true. Very true. But why, though, is my question. Like for an AR, which is what they're showing it on, I prefer to have a little bit more surface area to touch myself with. Oh, you're not supposed to shoulder it? Yeah, sure, bro. Sure, bro.
Yeah,
Hey, Nick Ferdum is back, bro. I'm sorry you got timed out twice. That last joke.
Actually, it's a felony to shoulder your brace.
All right, but counterpoint.
I
Kill
have
yourself.
a gun. Counterpoint, I have a gun on my shoulder.
Pasty white, thick Jap with mommy. I don't know what Alex is on, but okay. All right, bro. All right.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right.
Whoa.
Anyways, we've got the strap on, the rubber strap around. This is just so many bad jokes today. It's awful. What a degenerate stream. I'm quitting. No wonder Isaac Botkin won't come on here. Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
SBA Tactical, SBA.
You're infecting his Christian Minecraft server, John. He would never come on here.
Anyways, typing it into a search bar and it was accidentally the YouTube chat. SBA Tactical SBA 6 is a 5-position adjustable pistol stabilizing brace designed in conjunction with Difrico for platforms capable of accepting a mil-spec carbine receiver extension. Building on the minimalist design of the SBA 3, it features an integral ambidextrous QD sling socket and an adjustable nylon strap and a streamlined profile for enhanced stabilization and usability, made in the USA. That's exciting.
That was a lot.
I was going to make another joke there, and I just decided not to, bro.
What is
decided not to.
What's the point of this? Is it just because they needed to come up with something new?
It's just to sell more stocks. Sorry, I mean braces, guys. I mean braces. It's just to sell more adjustable braces. That's all.
Freudian slip.
Not a problem. I think it is just a sales thing because, again, the SBA 5 is already so good as a stock. There, I said it. It's so good as a stock that you don't need any other brace, right? And it's not like, I don't think brace sales have magically gone up since the $0 SBRs, since the, Trump slump 2.0. Like, I don't think brace sales are doing too hot, Like, the only braced gun I even own is the Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1. Because if I SBR it, then it's mine forever, and I'm technically supposed to give it back, even though for my own personal pleasure, I'm shooting someone with it. I'm forcing someone to shoot it at the Saturday match so they can experience it as well. Okay. But yeah, SBA 6, I think it's only here to sell more stocks or braces. Now, also just something that I noticed, and I don't know if I'm just not terminally online enough. First off, what retard is putting their foregrip all the way out here? Which
don't
one of you
know.
is doing this?
How long is the barrel?
11.5?
I mean, it's not that far.
Are you guys actually gripping like the edge of the rail?
I mean, it's not that far out. It's just a short rifle.
I feel like a self-report there, bro.
I mean, that's probably where mine is on my 16-inch.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also 6'1".
No, but look
And
at
I
this.
know
Okay,
you're like
Jake,
5 foot nothing, so
5 foot flat.
can't
Don't
relate.
forget it. But look, you have the heat wrap behind the place where you're going to be gripping the gun?
Mhm.
Question mark? So why is the wrap back here? Because most wraps have a place on the bottom where you can put the M-lock through the bottom.
Yeah. Or you could just use hockey tape like a normal person.
Yeah, or we could use gloves. Gloves help.
Yeah, if you're freaking OJ Simpson.
Well, the gloves help. They got him off of a crime, bro.
They didn't fit John. He didn't wear the gloves.
Well, that's why they helped him. It's got the Difrico grip, which again, everybody has. And I just don't care about. But this monstrosity, okay, this is what I actually want to talk about. Who makes this and why? Look at that spindly, retarded nonsense, okay? It's like, dude, you know what everyone loves about pistols? Everyone loves, like, making the iron sights as obtrusive as possible. Everyone loves, like, just cluttering up your window as much. That's what everyone raves about with pistols, is just getting as much iron sight covering the glass as possible. You know? And so they were like, you know what also is great about micro carry pistols is tiny sight radius. I love it when I have 3 inches of sight radius, which might sound like a lot to some of you out there. But surprise, surprise, 3 inches of sight radius, not actually that much. That is awful.
Some people are just terminally retarded and they can't be helped. And we shouldn't help them. We shouldn't offer them help. And if people
this
wanna
might be
spend money
as
on this-
retarded as the Hydra mount, the sniper mount.
Someone's saying it's called the Anvil.
We should drop an anvil on their head, Looney Tune style, bro. It'll be fine.
Looney Tune
I've
style,
I've seen
yeah.
Wile E. Coyote take many anvils to the head, and he's just fine, dude.
Yeah, I got an anvil in my garage.
Could I borrow it?
Sure. I can go grab it.
Let me pull this up right now. Oh, it's A&R Designs. How could I have guessed that it was A&R Designs? Okay, well, whew, it's on sale right now for only 150 bones, dudes. Yeah, no, but this is... Oh, what? No. Guys. God, dude, I might actually have to start unaliving people for real. It's not even a joke anymore, dude. I think some people just have to die. All right. I'm sad that Jake walked away at this moment, but would you just look at it? Would you just look at what supposed people have created? That looks beautiful, Jake. Thank you. Thank you for anvil posting on stream. Look at that anvil. Got a real anvil, dude. I love it. Yeah, that's right. Flex on them. Show us your toes again. Are you not wearing shoes? Damn it. Anyways, yeah, I can't believe you put an anvil on your riser. Why would you do this? I'm so confused. Are you looking at this, Jake? Are you excited by what I've accosted the viewers of this fine channel with?
What did I do?
No, do you see what's on screen now, Jake? So we've taken an anvil mount and we've put it on another A&R riser, the Mjolnir riser extension.
That's
that's
peak.
That's very good. Well, fortunately, the riser extension.
That was an 80-pound anvil, by the way. I don't mean to brag or anything.
80-pound curls. There you go. Someday you'll get into the men's weight outside of the girls' weight. It'll be fine. Anyways, yeah, that's awful. Thank you for accosting my eyes. Anyways, back to the stabilizing brace thingamajig here. Do I even care? That's the problem with a lot of this stuff. I'm like, oh no, it's new. I don't really care all that much though. Let's see. SBA 6, designed for firearm owners looking for a streamlined addition to the A series lineup. It's updated geometry with approximately a 1.6 inch width. Give it a narrow overall profile than the SBA 3, 4, and 5, while its full rubber arm cuff differentiates its construction and feel from other A series models. Ambidextrous, 9 ounces, 6.5 inches long, slight curve to the left, large vein down the middle. What? Whether configuring an AR style firearm for range use, storage, transportation, or a compact build, the SBA 6 provides the combination of adjustability, sling compatibility, and a full rubber arm cuff and a narrow, streamlined profile. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways. There you go. SBA 6, guys. Are you guys excited about that? As much as I am, anyways, because I'm very excited.
John, I'm so incredibly excited about this. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know if you could tell by the fact that I walked away off stream
to go get an anvil, which was actually more interesting than whatever we were accosting people with on stream there, which is very funny. Richard, are you awake?
Yes, sir.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm just viewing some rage bait right now that was sent to me a little bit ago.
Oh, well, don't you don't pre-game your rage bait, dude.
Well, it's particularly horrendous.
Well, you're going to leave us before rage bait. So you're going to send us rage bait before we get to our other rage bait. You're like rage bait maxing here on stream. You're supposed to be present. You know, I'm gonna like e-girl on you this moment. It's like, Richard, he wasn't being present with me. He wasn't spending quality time with us while we were on stream together. He always just felt so distant, like he was never really there with me.
Last time Richard dropped rage bait and left, it ruined my day.
Oh my gosh. It was like, yeah.
It was the worst.
Anyways, Richard, are you going to drop it in side chat? It's like he likes to just drop a dookie in like the public bathroom and then just leave the function, you know?
I read the link, so I don't really.
Yeah.
Anyway. How's chat doing tonight? Is everyone having a good night? Are you ready for your night to be ruined?
Yeah, get out of here while you still can, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, hey, we're gonna get into support before we get into rage bait. Richard, if you need to sign off before then, now is the time to do so. We're 2 hours in, and I know you got a tight schedule for tomorrow morning.
I just wanted to say thanks for all the support, for all the well wishes and everything. Unfortunately, Pupper's not gonna make it. So.
That's very sorry to hear that, man. Yeah. Prayers for Richard. Prayers for his doggo. Doggos are like family, and they teach us a lot. They love us unconditionally, and it's good to have someone like that in your life. And I know Richard did everything that he could to save the pupper, but it is not going to work out. And that is the way that life goes. But Richard, we'll all be praying for you and hope you're doing better.
Thank you, guys. Love y'all.
Yeah. Have a good night, man. Try and get some sleep, dude. Thank you for leaving us with rage bait.
Yep, you're welcome.
Peace out, man. Well, that was a somber note to start our super chats section with, which is always awkward at times. What should we put on screen to cheer us up? I know. The Handsome Horse for $20 says Big Toe Money Monday. Free Dugan. Christ is King. Thank you very much. We're giving you an OG BTM. Thank you, sir. Where'd it go? There it is.
Song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake money, big toe money, that's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Thank you very much, handsome horse. I think this is just Isaac's like slightly disappointed face in all
Dead
the antics
inside.
that goes on in this show. Just minorly disappointed, you know.
This is Isaac after the whimsy and joy of childhood has left his eyes completely, and he is now just a cold, ruthless man who stabs his family in the back.
It's complicated. Okay, have you ever seen Isaac with long hair?
I don't want to.
He has some great videos from back in the day, like really young
I don't
Isaac
want
Botkin
to.
doing
I don't
videos
want
for the
to.
family and doing like all these like I don't know what's the word for them, like Christian family based videos, right? Where he talks about like history or schooling or certain topics or whatnot. He does those from time to time, or used to do it from time to time, I think for his father's organization. And to even find long haired Isaac, just he's always been pretty good on camera. Ironically, got worse in his older years. I say older as if he's not like 40.
In old age.
Amrite Boy for 2 says Leighton 3D printed with fursuit coated. Damn it. Time him out. Actually, I don't think you can time him out. He's
Time
a
out,
man.
I'm right, boy.
Thank you, Amrite Boy. Appreciate it, sir. Zanico for 2 says, John, at least pan down to your sock covered feet. I don't wear socks indoors. Are you guys crazy?
Show your feet, John.
I've shown my feet on stream. Go back to the SHOT Show
Go
streams.
for it. Do it right now.
Yeah, go back. No, I'm
No
not going to show you
balls.
my feet. What do you think I am? A cheap whore who would do it for $20? Yeah, all right. Harry Har for 550 joules drops a stay hydrated. Thank you very much. Useful information as well. Thank you. Thank you. Lightsport for 2 says, hi, Jake. Hi, John. Richard. Hi again, Jake. Oh, he loves Jake. He's got a little something special for you later.
I Lightsport, my favorite Asian twink.
Is he Asian or Filipino? Do they count?
He's like Mexican Asian. He's like what do they call those? River Mexicans?
River Mexicans? I call them
Island
jungle
Mexicans?
Asians or island Asians, you know?
I don't know what they are.
Thank you, Lightsport. I appreciate you, sir. Tusk the third for 5 says, if we can't wage total war, we shouldn't wage war. True. You can't half-ass it. You got to destroy everything they have until they quit. I think that while it sounds very brutal, often ends up being like the fastest way to end a war and to reduce the bloodshed or end the bloodshed is just to like do everything you can to end it as quickly as possible, which is like an extreme amount of violence in a very short period of time. Personally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tusk the third. KX dropping gold coins, which is interesting considering he's so shekel coated.
Wow.
But thank you anyways.
Jew.
Andy Wamo sends 2 joules for sparkles. Thank you, Andy Wamo. Logan sucks at shooting, who does not suck at shooting. He actually beat me this weekend by 0.5%. 0.5%. Tragic weekend. I and my goofy decided to drive for a total of 30 hours. Third LO and third combined at 95% in each. $150 for that. Well, listen, $50 is almost a full tank of gas if you're driving a small sedan. So there you go, bro.
Something Logan does not drive.
No, well, you won $50, but then he drives a regular sedan. Let me dox him right now. He actually drives license plate number. No, I'm just kidding. He also got a $50 Shields gift card, which I took from him, which was great because I have Shields and he doesn't. So I actually spent that today.
Good
But
for
I
you.
did send him $50 to make up for it. So I think that's
Did you ride on the Ferris wheel 50 times?
yeah, it's like it was my son's birthday today. So we were there together. He was like playing Mario Kart and I'm just sitting on the Ferris wheel, just going round and round and round over and over again by myself. He's like, Daddy, please, Daddy, don't leave me down here. And I'm like, shut up, kid.
They stop you and they're like, sir, it's time to get off. And you're like, I paid for 29 more times around, all right?
Like, son, you look like an ant from up here. Look how powerful I am. Me.
No,
I'm at the
look
top
how
of the world. Me.
tall I am.
Thank you, Logan. Good time. I am glad that Logan literally drove like 30 hours. He gets to the Airbnb at like 9:30. I fall asleep at like 10. And then we wake up, we go to the match, and then he leaves, to drive 13 hours home, which is like, that's a lot, man. Thank you for your perseverance there, sir. Logan Sucks a Shooting for 2 says, we need to wish Pay the Snucka a happy birthday. Pay the Snucka Happy birthday, Jake. Can you
Happy
sing
birthday.
Can you sing him a song?
Isaac Botkin in the.
Can you sing him a song, Jake? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Snuka.
You sing him a
I'm not.
song.
Snuka, you a real one, bro. You're my favorite wigger. I love you, bro. Never
But
change.
you won't sing him a song though.
No.
All
I'm
right.
I'm not singing happy
That's-
birthday. I'm not fucking Marilyn Monroe or something.
Dude, you should sing it like Marilyn Monroe. Even better.
No.
I'll put the voice changer on for you. Okay, I'll get you in the mood.
No.
Thank you, Logan. Appreciate that.
can't do that,
And
can
happy
you?
birthday, Pay the Snucka. You're also my favorite wigger.
Can you put the voice changer on for me? Is that a thing?
Oh, for you? I thought, like, are you asking me?
No, I'm asking if that's
You're asking me to
possible.
put this one on
No.
for your personal enjoyment, right? That's what you just
No.
asked for. I can leave it
No.
on if you want it. It's not a big deal.
No, I'm asking if it's possible because if it is, I don't feel comfortable with that.
There's probably a way to do it. I don't know how to do it on here to change your voice input to this. But Jake, with enough time and energy, I'm sure I could figure it out, big boy.
I don't think you should waste your time on that.
Anyways, Jake cries out in pain as he's told to stay with white women. Bonnie. But
What did
Bonnie
I say?
Igloo for... Gonna be a recurring jump forever. Jake, anytime there's like we're looking at rage bait, there happens to be a black queen on screen, it's gonna be like, hey, Jake's type. Your team. One of Jake's roster right there.
All right, John, turn the voice off.
Turn what off?
Turn the
But
voice
Bonnie
off.
Igloo for 440 jewels says, Onk alert! Onk alert! Thank you,
John.
Todd Dog. And Bomani. What?
Turn the voice off
If it's
now.
to half the people are like, this is awful, and half the people are like, this is amazing. Iron Within for 5 says, hey, this is Atramentar. Jake, if I send you Crocs stuffed with $1 bills, will you put them on for stream?
Do I have to show it?
Of course, dude. You have to wear them on stream and show it on stream for like
Yeah, but I
1
don't-
second.
I don't show my feet on stream. I just
You
wear the. I
literally
could-
have multiple times. Like, we're at Crocs. You won't even see your feet. It'll be the Crocs with $1 bills everywhere.
Mhm.
Think of the memes, Jake.
Yeah,
Think of
that's what's
the
concerning.
financial incentive, the
That's
free
what's-
pair of Crocs,
That's what's
the
concerning
memes.
me.
Atramentar, you
There's a
said
lot
him.
of people. There's a lot of people in chat right now that are talking about how they're stroking their shit, John. Just know you're responsible for this, all right?
It's because we were talking about your toes, bro. Relax.
No.
Jake, all right. Atramentar, send him the Crocs filled with $1 bills, and I'll convince him to put them on stream for you, okay? Just do it. I know he's feeling uneasy about it right now, but give me time to massage him into it, okay? I'll get it done. Dude, I'm so good now just adding like the gay undertones to this show, dude. I
You
almost
are.
secondhand, or
I'm
second
starting to
nature, you know?
question- I'm starting to question things.
All right. Well, you shouldn't have slept with me then, huh? Bushmaster for 1,000 jewels says, Goat
What?
Trophy. That's right. Goat Trophy after that one.
This
I
is
mean, sleep
not
in the same
true.
building with you, Jake. That's all.
This
I
is
just mean
not
sleep in the
true.
same building.
The same house. Not in the same room.
Well, your door was open.
No, it wasn't. Did you open my door?
No, why would I do that? I wasn't looking at you while you were sleeping with your rifle next to you. Your PSA rifle, by the way, which I think is quite funny. Spec for 10 jewels says gold coin. Thank you. RC44 for 100 jewels says high five. Appreciate that. CS Ray for 550 jewels says stay hydrated. Appreciate that. Thank you. Most of these are just jewels now, which is like, all right, you guys like throwing stuff in the chat. That's chill. Safely strapped for 10 jewels says happy poop. Appreciate that. Iron Within Atramentar says, can the Haro-san ARO handle a super safety? Yeah, Haro-san is rated to 1000 G's recoil forces, so you should be good to go with the ARO, okay? Just make sure you get it in the gold variety, okay? Personally, I prefer the EVO. Thank you, Iron Within. Appreciate that, sir.
Zhao Hong Shu.
Pay the Snugger. Sorry. Pay the Snucka. My apologies for dropping the hard R there. For 10 jewels says press F. Appreciate that. Vintage Warfare for 67 jewels throws up to 6-7. Appreciate that. Vintage Warfare. Hope you're doing well, Black Queen. Also, that ironically makes you Jake's type, even though he's white. Is that weird that it's like the best of both worlds? Because he's white, but then he's also like pretends to be a black queen. So you get to have the black chocolate thing that you like, but also really be with a white person.
No. Vintage Warfare is my nigga. He's my day one. He's a homie. There's nothing like that. Okay. Nothing weird.
Right. Vanico for 2 says, John, film me like your French pistols. Have I ever shot a French pistol? No. Have I ever filmed a French pistol? No. I could not even name a French pistol, okay? Some of you guys are going to pull up like the Hollywood. It's like it was used in 1916 for 2 conflicts before it self-disassembled, okay, while smoking a cigarette on I have no idea, okay? It's not my thing. Thank you, Zanico. Appreciate it. Director Fury for 1,000 jewels drops the goat trophy. Appreciate that. Thank you, Director.
Wow.
Jury Seller for 550 says stay hydrated. Appreciate that. Tamedia Source for 5 says, why is the NX8 unusable? Well, you see, that's a meme, okay, because it's a little bit of clickbait. It's a little bit of misdirection. I use that to talk about Jesse Cinco's takes on LPVOs and why they're not used in USPSA, which is like just a really dumb proposition to begin with. Excuse me. Thank you to Media Source. Carver for 2 says, Lucas, just give John his personal phone number. I'll call him on stream. It'll be great. That would be funny. Thank you, Carver. Appreciate that. I'll send him some photos. The Media Source for 2 says, Lucas, I'm going to run an NX8 on my MP5K now. Based. Do it for the haters.
Unironically, though, John, if you could have a call-in section for this stream, I think that'd be awesome.
You want to do it right now? Who should we call into? Like us calling in other people, or like people calling in here?
People calling in. Like, hello, you're live on the Focus Trip live stream. And
we've done open panels. We had an open panel like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I mean like a phone call, though. You know,
but what's the difference between a phone call and them being here and streaming?
You pick them, you say, caller number 9, you're live. You know, that kind of deal.
I see. Bulge Deep, remember for 17 months, drops the white square. Is that like when people did the black square, but now they're doing the reverse, the white square based? Thank you, Bulge Deep.
Stand in solidarity for Shiloh Hendricks.
Oh, true. Yes. Drop the white square. Okay. If you don't drop the white square, I'm unfollowing you. You guys remember when people were doing that? Like being like literal retarded faggots about that? Like if you don't post a black square in solidarity, like I'm unfollowing you. It's like, all right. Bomani Igloo, 2 jewels, Silver Star. Appreciate that, good sir. Josh for 5. Speaking of my favorite Filipino, says it's Shark Week and Richard is a predator. At pool, maybe. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, sir.
Love you, Josh.
He should be saving people right now, but instead he's dropping hard-earned cash on this show. But Monty Igloo for 5 says, is it just me, or is being a father hands down the best thing on the planet? I agree with you. I like being a dad. We celebrated my son's 6th birthday today. It was great. Got him, he's on like an astronaut kick, so we got him like a spaceship thing. We got him a bike, his first bike, which is fun, and also like a little Lego, or not a little Lego, but like one of those Lego astronaut figurines that like falls apart every 5 seconds. It's fantastic.
When are you going to tell him we didn't actually go to the moon?
Well, you know, that sort of conversation comes after the whole Jew debate. You know, that's like secondary. Once you understand what the real problem is, everything else like falls into line, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Toaster for 400 jewels says, Eagle. Thank you. Dropping the Eagle. 94 Todd for 5 says, Jake told me that finger looking good implies the existence of toes sucking evil. And I can't unhear it.
Once again, I did not say that.
Thank you, 94 Todd. Appreciate that. Zanikos for 2 says, no price confirmed. I bet 2K or 2.71K at max. Understood. Thank you, Zanico. Spec V for 2 says, unironically, better marketing than Meprolite. Well, Meprolite's existence is like an affront, okay, but it's like a lesson in what not to do. Thank you, Spec. Logan sucks at shooting says, this isn't Mo, but I think he wanted to say mommy ASMR because Logan is one of those guys, okay, where you'll say something that's semi-analogous to what we're talking about, and then he'll be like, No, actually, that reference is a very specific genre of mommy ASMR where the person is like congratulating you and doing affirmations and stuff like that. So technically, this isn't mommy ASMR. This might be more of a generic ASMR, but it doesn't fall into the category of mommy ASMR. It's like being a weeb historian, right? And you're like, well, actually, this isn't this genre. It actually is a blend between these three things that everybody's looking at you like that you're the one weirdo at the party. And it's like, okay, all right. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate it. Don't Call Me Radio for 5 says, save the money and SBR your stuff. Actually funny. It's like when a brace is hundreds of dollars now and the SBR is free, it's like you kind of like price yourself out of the market. Especially on small guns where like stocks are way better. Thank you, Don't Call Me
Unless you're
Radio.
like schizo and you just really don't want to be on an FA registry.
Yeah, you're like, listen, guys, I can't let the government know that I exist as they get a pay stub and drive a car and have a cell phone. It's like, all right, bro. Graham Bergdorf for 550 joules says, stay hydrated. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you much. Vinland Werewolf for 440 joules says, the Unk Alert Truk. Bunser, member for 5 months, says, Isaac gonna be haunting my dreams tonight in a positive way, though. Thank you, Bunser. Appreciate that. Polly B for 2 says, this is amazing. I think in reference to the voice changer. I mean, he sent me $2, Jake. I should just put it back on, right?
I think everybody liked this more. Thank you, Polly B. Dick Cheney's Heart for 5 says, I don't like how Jake is dressed like an IRA member while sitting in a room with Home Goods farmhouse decor.
It's because I'm complex, Dick Cheney's Heart. I am Irish, okay?
He's
So
like
I
he's
can
like an
dress
onion.
this
He's got
way.
layers.
Yeah. But I'm also, you know, I just have furniture. I didn't even buy most of this shit. It was given to me. You think I'm going out and curating my furniture? No, bro. I'm picking this shit up off the side of the road, taking stuff from family members who don't want it anymore.
Dude, that
I'm
is
not a
such a
woman.
Midwest thing too.
Yeah.
Like a
I'm not a
or like a
woman.
just it's kind of just a poor white thing in general.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Welcome. Well, listen, I've been in your same shoes before. And we're trying to help you not be that way anymore. That's why you come on the show. This is basically therapy for you.
I remember when I was broke.
I remember when I was like you, or destitute, or endless in society. And I really, you know, it's like the what's the meme where you're being the. It's like when you're talking to a black person, you know, and you like you dumb down your language, and you like use really small words, and you like really, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Ebonics.
Patronizing, that's the one. Yeah, you're being so patronizing to the person. Speaking of being patronus, Zanico for 2 says, John, urgent. 931-716-9707. I'm gonna Google that number real fast before I call it because you might be like calling me to some like sex offender hotline or something like that, which would be really funny.
You should turn your voice changer off, John.
Oh, I forgot it was still on. I was like, oh, it's T-Rex arms. Lol, that's funny. That's funny, Zany. Dude, call him with the voice changer. Duh. Instant
I was
win.
just
Thank you,
wondering
Zany.
if you had any furry porn that you could send me. I really appreciate it.
All right. I sound like this too when kicked in the balls. Fair enough. Good to know. All right. Anyways, let's see here. What are we talking about now? Gosh dang it. Do I have to?
Let's descend into hell.
I guess. Fine. Richard drops this and literally leaves. Okay. He does the meme where the plane is like bombing behind him and he's just smiling while leaving, while walking out the door. Even though I know Richard isn't having a great time right now. But we are left to suffer through this article from a little while ago, but still relevant, I suppose, in terms of like the hellish nature that humanity can, I guess, go down, for lack of a better term. LA parents who decapitated 2 of their kids, forced siblings to view the bodies, are sentenced to instant death. LA County couple decapitated their 2 eldest children in what prosecutors called a monstrous act of violence that left their community stunned. On Monday, the pair were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Lancaster residents Maurice Jewel Taylor and his wife, Natalie Simoko Brothwell, 49. Can you show me an image of these people? Because I'm always conflicted when I don't see an image of them. I'm like, are you doing that on purpose to obfuscate who these people are? Or is it just like, is it not relevant at all? But they're old people, so why can't I see what they look like? You're kidding me. Oh. Well, that's okay. Well, anyways, so this is the faces that we're looking at. A mud. So wait, if this is a mud shark, a coal burner, toll paid, but for other people, what is the thing on the left that is the subject of the mud shark?
I don't know.
And his wife, Natalie Simoko Brothwell, found guilty of 2 felony counts of first-degree murder in November. Taylor and Brothwell were each sentenced to 6 years in prison plus 2 consecutive life terms without parole, according to Vanessa Dudon, a spokesperson for the district attorney's office. The couple's 2 surviving children were placed under a 10-year protective order by the court. Taylor was a personal trainer in Santa Monica, and his clients described him as mellow and reliable. I just don't think so, you know? You never really know people until they cut off 2 of their children's head and make the others watch. When he didn't dial into Zoom meetings with his clients, they became concerned and called authorities. Deputies arrived and found the children's bodies in separate bedrooms in the home. Lieutenant Brandon Dean said the 2 children were identified by sheriff officials as a 12-year-old boy and 13-year-old girl. At trial, a jury found the parents guilty of stabbing and decapitating the children. Like, what demonic drug-fueled rage do you go through? Like, I've seen people like accidentally killed, not seen like physically with my own eyes, but I've heard of people like accidentally killing children, like with a vehicle or in some sort of accident. Somebody falls off a roof or something. But what sort of, like, again, demonic drug-fueled rampage do you have to be under to not only stab your children to death, but then later decapitate the bodies of both of them?
I don't know. I have no idea. I would assume drugs are involved, but like, you know, that's just a given in California. I think the biggest factor is not having a fear of God, thinking that you are just entitled to do whatever you want, feeling like you're justified in doing whatever you want. Because it's just crazy. It's just beyond the pale of like anything you could even think up. Like, if I asked you to write a story about the most gruesome way you could imagine a parent killing their child, you know, it's like some of these things that we've seen on here, it's like, really? It's like, I don't even think I could I couldn't even come up with that if I was trying to be real creative and super fucking evil. But these people are just like, that, I don't know. And I'm honestly like, the other kids, apparently they saw this happening or they witnessed this. Like, think about what that does to those kids.
Oh, 100%.
That's just evil.
Well,
It's
I mean,
pure evil.
Alex, I literally referenced like demons twice in my introduction of this. But no, I think that I totally believe in demons influencing people and possession. But I think that there's also things that are correlated, or sometimes it's just, it can be drug induced. There can be other factors that play other than just, because everybody like if you're, there's 2 schools of thought. One, it's like if you're an atheist or a materialist, you're like, okay, demons aren't real. There's no such thing as demon possession. There's no such thing as like supernatural forces, right? And then there's the other side where everything's hysteric and charismatic, where every bad thing that's ever happened to you has been like some demon like torturing you. It's like, probably not, right? There's some happy middle ground there. But in this case, I would not rule anything out that there was something more nefarious going on under the surface at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not against the fact that, you know, I do think demon possession is a thing, but I'm also not just going to write off everything on demons and say, oh yeah, people aren't actually this evil, because people are this evil.
But that is true too. Yeah. But I mean, this seems like what is weird about this is that getting into the next part, they then forced their 2 younger sons, ages 8 and 9, to view their siblings' bodies and remained confined in their bedrooms without food for several days, right? So if this was like, to me, it's strange because it's like, we're going to murder 2 of our children and then leave the other 2 in their rooms for days. Now, I'm also curious here. Are the 2 children that were murdered biologically both of theirs? Because you have a 12 and a 13-year-old and then an 8 and a 9-year-old. Right. So did the black-white couple murder the 2 previous children before them who are not biologically totally theirs, right? The one was just half or whatnot.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Richard. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Richard.
But there is a simple way to prevent this sort of thing. I'm just saying, okay, all right? Could utilize some systems that were formerly in place to reduce the amount of times that this happens. All right. Oh, well, damn. The next one is not any better, Jake. Convicted baby killer back in prison just months after being released early. Who would have thunk that, yeah, you kill a baby and some liberal progressive judge is like, oh, you're such a heckin' underprivileged person of color, retard, queer person that you got to just be given a second chance at life after murdering a kid. And then, spoiler alert, they recommit almost immediately. That's crazy.
Oh, demonic evil face tattoo. What is this thing?
Is
this a man or a woman? What is it?
Jonathan Richardson.
Okay.
But lipstick and painted on eyebrows. So
And
tranny
crazy.
being not, I don't want to say victim, but being a casualty of demonic influence. That's crazy. No, not a mentally insane person being taken advantage of by some sort of outer forces. That's crazy. In 2002, Jonathan Richardson was sentenced to serve 55 years in Indiana Department of Correction for murdering his 11-month-old stepdaughter, Faith Lee. Stepdaughter. In March, officials said Richardson was released early after just serving over 20 of the 55-year sentence. However, authorities said that Richardson was booked into the Vanderborough County Jail on July 15th for a parole violation. Records show Richardson also returned to the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections after violating patrol. The records listed Richardson's earliest possible release date as August 2041. Authorities did not immediately release details about Richardson's parole violation. Well, I mean, with a face like that, who could guess? Like, I don't know, Jake. It could be drunk driving. It could be murder. It could be assault. It could be rape. It could be CSAM. Like, literally, the list is endless here. With a face like this, you could tell me any crime other than, like, I don't know, something that takes a high IQ to do. But you could tell me almost any crime, and I'd be like, yeah, that checks out.
This is like the character you make in a video game when you want to make the most fucked up looking evil thing possible.
Yeah,
like
and that's the
GTA Online character.
Right. Gecko Chaser and Sean Weiland have good points. Mom should be charged as an accessory by bringing this thing into her home. Single women who bring strange men or other people around their children open their children up to an insane amount of risk of assault, molestation, grooming, up to and including death in this case for the 11-month-old stepdaughter, which is absolutely disgusting. A premeditated murder of an 11-month-old. Like, I can't, like, listen, okay, I'm not like a good person and I'm not like the most pious person alive, but the premeditated murder of an 11-month-old, it's something that I can't even like comprehend doing. Right? It's like, what possible purpose could this serve?
My question to the anti-death penalty people: what possible purpose would it serve to keep someone like this alive?
Oh, 100%. No. The
crime?
punishment for murdering an 11-month-old, again, not an accidental death.
But
Murdering an
seriously,
11-month-old is death.
What is the argument from people who are anti-death penalty, anti-capital punishment? What would they say about this?
It's mean.
Why?
Jake.
Why would you? Who fucking cares, dude? Who
Well, not you.
cares?
You're preaching to the choir here, dude. No, the
Like-
death penalty has been a very useful tool for checks watch all of human history. Literally all of it has been used to keep the worst of the worst outside of every society, including hunter-gatherers, right? All the way back you can dial that clock back as far as you want. Capital punishment has always been a useful tool of keeping your society safe. And now it's like, you murder an 11-month-old, you get out of jail 20 years later after serving less than half of your sentence, right? Which we can argue about the length of sentences in a murder case, right? If that's even relevant. But even having some length of sentence, you serve less than half of it and you're out and then immediately get booked again. It's
I
like,
think the sentence should I think the sentence should be very short.
I think the rope should be very short.
The rope can be long. The sentence should be short. There shouldn't be this long, drawn out period. And that's even a problem I have with like states that do have capital punishment, where they will have someone sitting in limbo. Because this is the other side of the argument. This is me being a compassionate, loving Christian. Why, if you're sentencing someone to death, why do they sit on death row for 15 fucking years?
Well, so I would
That's
actually
wrong.
be, here's very liberal progressive John here. I would actually be okay with there being some like mandatory waiting period between sentence and death penalty and like the actual, like say 30 days, right? So that if there was some new piece of evidence or new testimony or something that could be provided, you still give time for some like Hail Mary, or even for the person convicted. And again, this is liberal John, somebody who is going to die, to repent and to like give their life over to Christ, right? I would allow I'm thinking like a 30-day window where like you can a Hail Mary by the defense or something like that, or possibility of repentance. Like you're going to die. Like the judgment has been settled. The punishment for your crimes has been settled, but now there is a period of repentance. You could even call it like the repentance period or something like that.
Here's my thing. If something's not coming out in the initial trial, like I get it. We live in a corrupt system, but if things don't come out in the initial trial and they come out conveniently like a year later or something, it's like, what is the actual veracity of those claims? Like how real is that?
But it does happen every now and again, which I get is a pause. But I also don't want to. We are talking within our current criminal justice system, which the handsome horse is like, yeah, of course, our criminal justice system now sucks. It's like, yeah, but in this hypothetical, it's different though, because we're in control, okay, and we're fixing the system. We're not talking about our current paradigm where they're like, oh, you did a racism, congratulations, death penalty.
Yeah. But like,
right?
okay, here's my logic on it, right? If someone is sitting on death penalty who then gets exonerated death row, and they get exonerated 20 years down the line or something because of new DNA evidence, should they have been on death row in the first place? Probably not. There's probably very circumstantial, like shitty evidence that got them on death row in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a fault of the system. So like these cases should be handled like you're sure. Yeah, this person is irrefutably committed this crime.
Yeah. The barrier, the barrier to entry or the barrier for proof for a death sentence should be like incontrovertible, right?
Yeah.
Like almost an objective fact,
And if it is, like if that's the case and you're proven guilty, why wait?
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying about like 30 days, maybe even a week. Let's give them a week. How about that? Give them time to repent, give them time to think, but I don't think keeping them in prison for 15 years while they're having conjugal visits from psychotic women who love murderers, I don't think that should be a thing.
Yeah. There's also like the tax burden of all of this stuff, which
Yes.
is insane. That is also funny. 21 Scavenge brings up the guy who was on Joe Rogan as somebody who got off of a previous crime that they had committed by the whatever foundation it was. And then
Mhm.
like very shortly after, he dismembered a body.
Mhm.
Dismembered someone. Like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been let out. Yeah, I'm crazy.
Crazy.
Anyways. This next one is much better, Jake. A teen handyman accused of killing sweetest elderly couple that was well-known troubled juvenile suspect of other crimes. I hate teen handyman, Jake, because you will never believe what this teen handyman happened to look like.
I think I do. Oh,
Ta-da! Cordarius, I hate these names too. It's like they try and riff off of like Roman names. And I'm like, no, you were not Romans. You were not kings. You was dick washers. You were ball washers and slaves. Cordarius Hobbs, 17, was known to local cops as a troubled juvenile connected to several other crimes in the area. 17 years old. When do you get dangerous? 6. Median point.
troubled juvenile handyman.
The Mississippi teen accused of gunning down the sweetest elderly couple who hired him as a handyman was a suspect in numerous burglaries and car thefts before the double murder, according to the authorities. Cordarius Hobbs, 17, was well known by cops around Simpson County when he was busted for the June 3 slayings of Billy Blair, 74, and his wife, Virginia Carol Blair. Now, there is something deeply ironic about this to me personally. You have an elderly couple who probably have their own children, who probably are, I wouldn't say necessarily well off, but they're hiring someone who's a local to do their landscaping, to do handiwork, yada, yada, yada. And they happen to hire someone like Cordarius. And in the back of my mind, I always get that little tingle of, did they hire this person because they were black and because they were attempting to be altruistic, right? We need to help those poor black kids, those poor folks, you know, who are underprivileged. And so we are going to go out of our way to try and help these poor underprivileged people, or whatever they would call it. And the irony of then being gunned down by him later on is, yeah.
We gotta help the black-owned business and shit.
And some of this is like, you know, boomers like hate their own children, right? A lot of them hate their own kids. They want to. The famous saying is like, "I want the last check I write to bounce," as like they spend every dollar that they've ever had in their own life and leave nothing to anyone because they don't care about anyone else, right? They
Well,
don't
yeah,
care
'cause
about leaving a legacy. They don't care
they
about
earned
housing
their
prices.
money.
It's all about their 401k and all about their investments.
Yeah, they earned their money through hard work and determination, and by golly, you're gonna do the same.
That's right. You grew up in like zero inflation and $50 new vehicles. It's like, all right, shut up. At their home, he'd helped maintain in Mendenhall, according to an incident report. Deputies and investigators believe the suspect could be a troubled juvenile known to us as Cordarius Hobbs, who is also suspected of many other home burglaries as well as auto theft in his immediate area, the Simpson County Sheriff's Department report said. Hobbs was hired by the couple to help with work around the house and help maintain the property. On June 3rd, the bloodbath was only discovered when 3 contractors arriving to install a generator at the Blair's home around 10 a.m. discovered their car door opened with several guns on the seats. What? Like, was he trying to steal their firearms, or was he stashing the firearms he used to kill them in their vehicle with the door open? Like, this all sounds very retarded to me, but then I look at this face and just, you know, there's not a lot of planning going on, not a lot of thought going on in here. It's just 15-second window of time, right? That's all that exists. There is no past, there is no present, there is just the moment here and now. discovered that their car door was open with several guns on the seats, according to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. They called for a welfare check at 11:30, and officers who arrived around 30 minutes later were met by gunfire. It sparked a nearly 2 hours long standoff with a gunman believed to be Hobbs, as you can see him in the photos here. At some point during the standoff, Hobbs managed to run off just to be captured. Carol Blair's body was found in a bedroom, curled in the fetal position with 3 gunshots to the back of her head. Her husband was found on his back in the kitchen with 3 gunshots to the face. Like, the fact that they had to be like almost defaced in a way, right? Like, the bodies themselves are disrespected because this animal doesn't, not only does he not have any sort of like sanctity of life, right? But even if I had like defeated an enemy, you know, in combat or something like that, I wouldn't be pissing on their grave or pissing on their body or defacing their body, right? That's another level of evil, right? There is even that much respect that you should pay to these people, but not with this, not with these things. Hobbs' grandfather, Billy Newsom, previously confirmed that his grandson was called to work that day, but he refuses to believe that he could be responsible. My grandson used to work for the man. Why are you going to rob a man that you work for? Well, if your retarded grandson could think, maybe he could answer that question. Why are you going to stay there that long and know the police are out there, and then you go and wait until everybody gets there to run? It just ain't adding up. Something just ain't right here. It's like, yeah, your spoiler alert grandfather, but you and your grandson seem to be of the cut from the same cloth, as it were. Disgusting. Hobbs' attorney, Zachary Val, also argue that there's a lack of direct forensic evidence connecting the teen to the slayings, other than the fact that he was there with guns, getting into a shootout with cops. Like, did they miss that part? Like, that he was there shooting at the cops? Like, I'm sure his evidence is all over the guns that he used to shoot at the cops. There's not a lot of evidence that he was here. Just because they caught him fleeing from the scene after a gunfight doesn't mean that he killed them with guns.
Listen, John, this is a classic case of being guilty of walking while black, okay?
Of shooting while black. A classic case of murdering while black.
You're just assuming. You're making a lot of assumptions here, all right? Is it because he's black?
Yes. It's because they have the mugshot here and they arrested him after getting into a shootout with him. I think that alone is enough evidence. It's like, let's go through the trial, let's figure it all out. And like this one here, I'm pretty confident based on the evidence presented thus far, and I'm sure the plethora that's going to come out in the trial, that we can get rid of this guy. Sorry, bro, you kind of don't need to be here. We'll give you the 30-day grace period where you can repent. You're still getting killed either way, and then we dispose of you. Congratulations, you are now fertilizer. All right. No, we'll skip that one. It's just, well, actually, I'll show it because it's funny. It's kind of funny anyways. We have Iraq veteran 1488 doing his thing. He continues to based post on Maine, which no matter how bad his gun takes are, okay, I am enjoying his awakening, okay, his pathway in life. I do enjoy that aspect of him. So good job, Iraq veteran 1488. Saying, did we really win in World War II? Well, listen, okay, if your grandpa who died in D-Day could see that his grandsons were twerking in front of, naked men at a gay pride parade, then he surely would have given his life twice as hard. Or something like that. Thanks, boomers, for giving away everything that your fathers fought and died for. Female cop. Oh my gosh, this is awful, but yet just another incident of female cops being female cops. Like, she's almost witnessing like a murder in front of her and just decides to do absolutely nothing about it at all. Now, to be fair, like, Floyd cop, yeah, I get it. But you're just witnessing two people curb stomp someone else and you're not going to like stop them in commission of a murder. Like, you have a gun, at least shoot the guy. Yonkers, New York, which is a hilarious name. Sergeant Amy Kielb came under fire after surveillance video showed her response during a brutal beatdown on Yonkers Avenue. The two men arrested were identified by Yonkers police as Jonathan Thielen, 26, of Mount Crisco, and his brother, Felix Thielen, 22, of Hastings on Hudson. Both were charged with felony assault. The victim was reported to be a 26-year-old Yonkers resident, but his name was not publicly released. Police said he suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was expected to recover. Officials said Kilb called for backup, which arrived shortly after, but the video sparked outrage over whether she should have stepped in sooner. Kilb was placed on modified duty during the investigation and was later disciplined, according to local reports. Yeah, women in life and death situations, just no, we just don't need, like, you can handle paper. You want to be a cop, you can be a desk jockey and handle paperwork, maybe, you know? No, my notifications are on, Jake. Thank you for messaging me on Discord while this is here. Bro.
You just didn't see the first one, so that's why I figured it was
oh, did I not? Did you send me something?
Yeah.
I don't know why that one got blocked. That's funny. Thank you.
Up.
Try it again. See if it goes through now. That's
Okay,
funny.
I'll try it again.
All right. Anyways, let's watch the video here. I'm sure this is going to be very informative. I got to turn the music off. So we got white, blonde, Foyd cop, two guys manhandling another outside of a bar here. Wailing on the guy. There it goes. Came through that time.
Good.
And they're just beating on this drunk guy. He's down on the ground. They're now kicking him in the back of the head, kicking him in the top of the head, curb stomping the guy, basically. Like, by the way, remember, fists and feet kill more people every year than rifles. Like, way more than rifles. Like, just getting kicked on the ground in the head repeatedly is a way to die. Okay, this is not something that you just sit there and let happen, right? If you're a police officer, especially, and you see somebody getting curb stomped to the point where he could die, like, you need to, like, you should have at least pulled out your taser and stopped one of them, right?
Mhm.
And if that's not enough, you could have said taser and pulled out the other one, you know, just a little oopsie.
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry.
he's still
like,
going to town on that guy, you know?
women.
And look,
there's like maybe one or two women in all of America.
no, he's literally curb stomping him,
Yeah.
his face into the concrete. Like, this could easily kill you.
Mhm.
This is not a movie where you get punched 27 times in the head, fall over, and you're good to go 2 seconds later. Absolutely not. This guy has been kicked like 20 times in the head. This could absolutely kill you. He's still getting it. Like, if I just saw this happening, I would be tempted to kill both of them as a civilian, right?
Maybe
Or at least,
maybe that's
you
her
know, use a
ex-boyfriend.
large amount of force to stop them from doing what they were doing. But this is a literal police officer who stands by and watches. A random man shows up and does more to protect and serve than the person who swore in it. And then I think you get other cops coming in at the end. But she just does not care. Like, these Foyds are so useless. If it's not writing a traffic ticket, they might as well not exist. What absolute nonsense. And again, like, they might be drunk retards, but they are absolutely trying to kill this guy. Like, he's getting kicked in the back of the head repeatedly. The other guy lays off for a second, then thinks about it. And then they both go back to kicking the guy in the head and then doing the stomps. The guy's out. The guy's gone. The guy's like barely there. You know, he's not really functioning. Oh my gosh. Easily kill that guy. Easily kill that person. And that Foyd cop does not nothing, but might as well have been absolutely nothing. Again, when she is armed with multiple ways to stop these people, right? She's got multiple options, right? You could have gone to like pepper spray or bear spray or taser or gun, you know, because they are in commission of a crime, a very violent crime, and they look like they're trying to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. She doesn't have to be right next to them while trying to stop them, right? Because she's literally just standing there helpless. Like, they could have taken her down and killed her as well. She's just standing like in a malaise, like, Oh, these people are around me. This is crazy. This is so strange. Like, could you stop doing that? Could you stop? Oh, he's gone back and he's hitting him again. Ah, shoot. Dang it. Ah. You know, Foids are like useless in this situation. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say women and men with the testosterone levels of Logan should not be police officers.
Logan had part of his brain removed. Okay, you have to go easy on the man, all right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Logan. You had part of your brain removed and now you're retarded. No, I'm just kidding. He's faster now that he got part of his brain removed, honestly.
Faster,
all right,
more of a gooner.
We got a couple more to wrap up with, and brace yourselves, okay? Because we've got the thing that never happens, the thing that Yeezy, YZY, whatever you call that retard. He says that, you know, trans people get a lot of violence put upon them. You know, people blame trans people for a lot of violence. You know, sometimes stereotypes get earned, okay? Safford James Wolfson, a 36-year-old biological male who publicly identified as a trans girl, has been arrested for the alleged murder of his mother. Mommy issues much? Angelo Caprioli in their Laguna Beach home. Neighbors reported he lived under round-the-clock caregiver supervision for at least 6 months. A clear signal of severe ongoing impairment. He was linked to Kevin House LLC, a dual diagnosis facility for mental health and substance issues that his mother helped found. Social media showed him posting as a trans girl looking for fun in LA. Now, I find this also very weird because the mother was one of these like mental health, substance abuse type of people while having a tranny son, 36 years old, by the way, round the clock supervision, enrolled in all of these programs, probably on a cacophony of different drugs, right? So it almost like, I'm not sure if this is the proper framing. This might be a little bit unfair, but it almost seems like her son was a bit of a weird experiment.
Yeah.
Right? Like a test case for her clinic, for her foundation that specializes in this sort of thing.
Yeah, those like psych shrink people always do perverse things to their children. Their children end up that way because they are horrible parents, and they
and this stuff is is foisted upon them, right? It's not like there's no such thing as a trans child. Okay, there are children with, you know, mental health issues or substance abuse issues or things like that that might be born out of, you know, no fault of their own, right? But there's no such thing as like trans children. No, that is just parents foisting their own mental disabilities and their own absurdities onto their children, right? And keep in mind that this thing is 36 years old. California trans suspect arrested in mother's killing after neighbor recalls heated argument. Let's see if the reporting on this is any good. I'm somewhat skeptical, but let's see if it ever loads. California man. Like, anytime you hear of a Florida man, it's like meth and drug related. Anytime you hear of a California man, it's like tranny, weird, gay, queer, CSAM. It's like, all right.
I guess it's just not going to load.
Sopranos fan. Well, other than that, I can just read the article. It's basically the same thing. But I was hoping just to get to sit back and watch somebody else tell me what happened rather than to read, because reading stresses my mind a lot. Okay, it takes a lot of horsepower up there. You only have so much capacity. Okay. It's like RAM, okay? If I'm listening to a video, my RAM is at like 10% utilization. If I'm reading, though, it's like 75 to 80% of my RAM, you know? So it's like there's not a lot of multifunctioning going on when I'm reading. Anyways, a California man was arrested this week in connection with his mother's killing, authorities said. Angela Caproli, 61, was found dead Monday at a home in Laguna Beach, according to the police department. And Caproli and the suspect Safford Wolfson as mother and son. Wolfson, 36, was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of murder after investigators previously identified him as a person of interest in the case. Now, look at the image that they choose to use of him when he looks to be like late 20s, maybe mid 20s, maybe a while ago, versus the image that more accurately embodies his current state, right? No way, you're telling me this thing that had all of these things foisted upon him turned out to hate his mother so much that he killed her? That's crazy. That's crazy. Jake, stop it. Trying to get somebody else to say wood for you, bro? That's wild. Police officer said officers responded to a home in the 1300 block of the Dunning Drive shortly after 11 a.m. for a death investigation and found Caproli deceased. The circumstances surrounding her death remain under investigation. Neighbor Dustin Petit said he witnessed Wolfson and Caproli engaged in what appeared to be a heated argument at the home days before the killing. I saw her outside talking with him, and it seemed like a pretty hostile conversation. She turned around and went inside and slammed the door like she was fed up with whatever was going on. Petit also said that CBS Los Angeles that Wolfson had moved into the home about 6 months earlier. He was pretty mysterious. He wasn't talking to us. You know, he would come outside, smoke a cigarette, and play some guitar. He said, literally me. That's kind of the extent of the relationship we've had with him over the last 6 months or so, as if I smoke. According to the New York Post, social media accounts associated with Wolfson identify the account holder as transgender. The outlet also reported that Wolfson wrote on Facebook in 2024, "Not even my mom wants to hang out with me, man. Talk about a lame-o."
Mhm.
Wow. Anyways. It's just the whole thing is tragic. Absolutely insane. But yeah, people like this, Jake. Spoiler alert. Not mentally well.
I don't think people do.
What do you mean?
I don't think people do like that.
No. People like this are not mentally well. I'm not saying that people like this. I'm saying that people that embody these physical characteristics are not mentally well.
Yeah. The sad thing is, this all this, I would say 99% of these cases with proper parenting and some intervention early on would be entirely preventable.
100%. Bradley knocked the Mario coins out of the mob. That's funny. Yeah, severe mommy issues. Okay. Now, let's check in on policing around the world. Okay. I saw this earlier and I was like, this is absolutely wild. This is insane. This is Indonesian police doing some training on how to get people out of vehicles, Jake. All right. Have you seen this before?
No.
Perfect. What do you think the best way into a vehicle like this is?
The trunk?
Really? You're going to come in from the trunk?
I don't know.
But you wouldn't think of opening the door?
Sunroof. Windshield.
Sunroof. Okay. Close. It's close to the sunroof. Close to the sunroof. But you are about to witness a dive bomb of all dive bombs, just sending it. Now, I believe this is in training, so they're testing some advanced technique, seeing what works. So if it seems a little wacky, I believe, again, this is just training to see what works here. Just a dive bomb from, I don't know where that guy came from, like a crane or the top of the truck or something. Just a dive bomb straight into the rear windshield to try and get the guys up front. Now, spoiler alert, he's not actually able to do anything because he's stuck in the back seat. By the time he makes it in through the windshield and whatnot, the guys who go to the doors have already gotten the people out.
They said it's my car now, bitch.
Well, again, I believe this is just training stuff. I don't think this is a real event that happens. That's why it's all nothing is around it. It's a big concrete parking square. None of the vehicles actually run into each other, right? But they do really aggressive entries and getting them out of there. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see where the guy actually jumped from. That is crazy.
he jumped off the truck of the front of that big truck.
Yeah, I mean, because like instantaneous, like I don't know what that is, a flashbang, a smoke bomb, but then everybody gets in there and gets him out like immediately.
Yeah, I think he was on the hood of that truck, and you could see it like pull up quickly. And I think he used a little bit of the momentum. Yeah, he was on the hood of that,
Yeah,
and I think
Well, I
as
mean,
it
yeah, he
pulled
had
up,
to-
he used the momentum to jump in.
he like pencil dived into it, but I think he like if you slow it down, he hit the roof so hard that he like kind of like shocked himself for a second because he dents in the back of that like horribly. Like I feel like every 5 times you do that, one time you're not going to break the window and you're just going to like break your legs and like fall off the side of the vehicle. It's just not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, Indonesian police, at least you get some aggressive technique training. Bottom 5 ribs. Yeah, dude, that is rough. That does not look like fun. Because he does not do much after that. He just gets stuck in there. Oh gosh. I hope the plate carrier took some of that impact because that is he continued to do stuff, but that is rough. Oh. Yeah, broken ribs, maybe, dude. That is a rough impact. I don't think I'm gonna enjoy
to happen.
He was hey, jump in here and cave in the roof with your ribs. You think that was supposed to happen?
I don't even know if he was supposed to like go through the window. I wonder if he was supposed to just like slowly jump onto the back of the car.
Oh, like I want like the big AMRAP that's coming up stops too fast and he accidentally like launches forward onto the window. That's possible that was an accident and not intentional. But it looks intentional. Just the footage we have looks intentional. If we zoomed out and it sees him like slipping off the front of the vehicle as it comes to a stop, then that would be different. But it looks like he intentionally like pencil dives into the back windshield.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess a little bit of white pill here at the end. We do eventually need to have like a white pill Wednesday stream or something. It doesn't happen, but good news coming from Poland. Whatever your thoughts are on Poland, they tend to have like some of the only based laws or based policies concerning their own people in the EU. And they just allowed their border guards to use firearms against migrants. And why can't we have the same? You know, we just need a 1 mile zone on the Mexico side of the US border. And it's like, if you come into this area, you are a target, you know? And that's the thing. You don't have to kill a lot of people. You have to kill like 5. You know, and then they just stop coming. You know, you leave the bodies out there, maybe even put them on like, I don't know, spikes. That could work too. That, you know, if that's too extreme, that's one part of my plan that, you know, could change one or the other. I'm flexible on that one. But I'm just saying, you don't have to kill a lot of people. You just, you know, a few of them and the problem gets a lot lower.
I agree.
Yeah. But anyways, too good to be true. Could not happen here yet. All right. We need to actually
Maybe
have
one
that
day.
with California. Okay. We're going to cordon off California. Anyone trying to get out, we just kill. Limpet
Josh?
Art. Josh is never going to leave. He's Filipino. Filipinos love
He's
California.
not Filipino.
Josh is.
No, he's not.
Josh is Filipino. Ask him about it. He loves being called Filipino.
He's Chinese.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. All chinks look the same to me, okay? Limpet Arc, member for 8 months, says, can Focus Trip beat the Stormcloak allegations? No. No Stormcloak can beat the allegations, good sir. Never ask the race of a Stormcloak's girlfriend. Lightsport for 2 says, oh wow, I regret coming back to this now. Yeah, probably the wrong time. I apologize. You take a little break when we're talking about like Lucas Botkin or Isaac Botkin, and then you come back and it's like decapitated children in a home. Like, yeah, I apologize. My bad. Thank you, Lightsport. David last name for 2 says Trans Bam Bigelow. Ugh. Not far off. Damn. Thank you, David last name. I appreciate that. Limpet Arc for 5 Canadian. I'm not even reading that. Get that. Mods ban him. Unbelievable. I didn't realize I was reading a Canadian super chat. For Canadian 5 says, here is an argument against death penalty as we know. No luxurious meals, no press coverage. Ian Watkins gets shanked and everybody is happy. Yeah, I mean, I think that we just need to like completely revamp the American justice system. And so like we can quibble about punishment here or punishment there, but until it's like uprooted and rebuilt at its foundation, it's like we're all rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, you know. It's like in our current form of government, do I want them to have the ability to just kill who they want? Like obviously not. You know. It's like give a good person a lot of power, you can still run into issues, all right? Give a bad person a lot of power and you're guaranteed to have the worst possible outcomes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Libertar.
Thanks for the 50-cent super chat, by the way.
I always forget what the conversion rate is because they shouldn't even call it dollar. It's really
like 5 cents.
It's an insult to the term dollar. Okay, call it the Canuck or something else, something Canadian related. Lightsport for 2 says we take 10 plus years at FDoc for capital. No, it takes a long time. I think I don't know if I'm making this up on the spot, but there's something like a certain percentage of people on death row die on death row before they get executed, which is hilariously funny to me. It's like people dying on death row before they get executed. They just like take their own way out, you know, natural causes or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lightsport. Mike Mo Ready for 1,000 jewels says, "Go trophy." Appreciate that. Thank you very much for making the chat obnoxious and hard to read. Lightsport for 5 says, "No, babe, it's a Buddhist symbol. No, babe, it's a Buddhist eagle. No, babe, it's a Buddhist electrical helmet." True, dude. It's actually an old Hindu thing, and it's actually really cool in base, and it has to do with like the 4 winds. Like, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lightsport. Appreciate it. Ram EZ for 440 jewels drops the Unk alert. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ram EZ. 94 Todd for $10. Thank you. That's very base of you. Says they jump in through the rear window. That way they can kick their back of the driver's seat and ask to go to a play place over. I can't read right now. I apologize. I'm just gonna start over. Just gonna rewind. Try again. They jump in through the rear window. That way they can kick the back of the driver's seat and ask to go to a play place over and over. It makes the driver turn around and go home. 600 IQ maneuver. That's true. And as someone who, like, our current seating arrangement in the minivan, okay, which is a based family vehicle, is I have an 18-month-old behind me who does occasionally kick my seat. All right. I feel that. Like that little bit of rage, a little bit of fury in there. Okay. Where you're like, hey, stop it, or else I'm turning this car around right now. Thank you, 94 Todd. I appreciate that. All right, let's go over to Rumble. On Rumble, Bushmaster for 5 says, Jake, the Irish are the white gears. Knee gears. That's funny. Of the whites, it was a knee gear because it was like a white, leg, and I was like trying to figure out what he was trying to say. Are the knee gears of the whites? They constantly cry about the British and ones who came to the U.S. did nothing but engage in organized crime and alcoholism and sell guns to IRA commies. What do you got to say for yourself, Jake? You think the Irish built this country? Huh?
They did, yeah.
They did in the 19th century when they came over?
I mean, the Irish were doing a lot of the labor, yeah. I mean, they were like slaves for a while.
But that's the same thing that the blacks will use. You are the knee gears of the U.S., dude.
But I don't complain about it.
Maybe not you specifically, but I know a lot of Irish people who complain. Okay,
I don't care if my people were enslaved. They probably deserved it. Like,
see, now you're the Uncle Ruckus of the Irish.
They were probably really shitty and they deserved it, and they got what was coming to them, and now they're members of society again.
Yeah, 200 years later, I think they assimilated better than almost every other ethnic group out there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's because they're like white or something. I don't know.
Something like that. It's like shared cultural and genetic heritage. Crazy. Oh, Jared for 2 says, can't watch tonight. Christ is king and God is good. Thank you very much, Oh, Jared. Hope you're having a good night out there, sir. Over on Ko-Fi. Let's see here. Whoa! Oh, I know why. a certain someone who I gapped by 55 or not 55, sorry, by 15% at a North Dakota Championship sent me $65 on Ko-Fi, which is insanely based of you, good sir. I think it was $50 that you owed me and $1 for every percentage point that I gapped you. But thank you, Spencer. Very based. I hope you guys made it home okay. And I hope your shop was okay after the storm, too. But hey, everybody gets a BTM for that. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate that.
So talking, I grin like that. Everybody laughing, but he still go when that shoelace tight. He don't fold. It's on like a Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku. Dragon Ball's about to come all over these balls. It's on like a Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku. Dragon Ball's about to come all over these balls.
You guys can't see him, but Jake bounces in the background of that song. It is crazy the motion he gets, dude. He is like, he's got like, you know, white boys can't dance or something like that, but he's got a little bit of motion going on in the background when that's playing. Let me tell you.
Hey,
Thank you,
I'm
Spencer. Mock becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep based. Todd and Dogs on Ko-Fi for 3 says, for real, I want to thank any and everyone who prayed for my Yorkie. $3,000 for pyometra surgery, and she's alive. Family is family, and she is part of my family. Christ is king. I am very glad to hear that, Todd and Dogs. I know that losing a dog is never fun. It's one of those things where it's good for you in like a really weird way to experience, for kids too, to experience like the life cycle of an animal, to kind of prepare them for life, you know. Because it's like, you know, hey, your grandparents are not going to be there forever. Your mom and dad are not going to be there forever. And like a dog is like a way to do that, to teach you a lot of life lessons, like how to take care of something that depends on you, how to, you know, even when you're tired, even when you're sick, to still like put in the effort to take care of something that's dependent on you, you know, and to have that life cycle in a way that's not like losing a mom or a dad or a grandparent. So, but thank you, Ton Dogs. I am glad that your Yorkie gets to hang out with you for a little bit longer. Great to hear. And then Guns and Rosaries becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Very, very based of you, good sir. And then as I was trying to get out of here, Cody Fisher drops another $20. Thank you very much with the 3 crosses. Christ is king. Christ is God. Thank you very, very much for that. So because of that, you all get a taser and something else. Let's see.
I am a pregnant woman. Taser.
You're getting called a slur. I don't know which one. Whichever one I feel like saying at the moment. You're getting called a slur.
Thank you, Cody Fisher.
I love the taser video. It's so good.
So good.
I am a pregnant woman. Taser.
So good.
That the officer just does not care in the slightest, dude. It's like, I am a pregnant woman. You can just hear it in his voice. He's like, taser, bang, just instantly. No lightweight, no reaction. All right, Jake, what do you want to say before we get out of here, sir?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for watching. Christ is King, Christ is Lord and God, and free Dugan. We haven't had a Dugan update in a while, but continue to pray for him and his family. They need all the support they can get.
Absolutely. You sounded so excited about that, Jake. I know it's a long show. I know that like there's a lot of rage at the end, but you sounded like I don't know, Viggo Mortensen on Downers. You know, you're sitting.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's like a somber thing, you know, because we're waiting on that. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty there, so it's definitely it's one of those things. I feel for the family, and I think we just need to, you know, we've done a really good job so far supporting the family
100%.
as a community, and that's awesome. But, you know, they're going to continue to need that support.
Well, I'll try and get an update when I can. I talked to the wife last week a little bit, and we've got some stuff working on in the updates, but a lot of it, especially with like Discovery, is just a game of hurry up and wait while the lawyers do their job, you know, and there's like not a lot you can do as the people on the outside, so to speak. I'm sure once the trial date gets set, Endor gets moving, there will be a lot of things coming out very quickly. There will be a lot of coverage of that. I will try and be there in person the entire time. Hopefully, it will be a public trial where you can get people streaming it as well, so you can just watch it live. I think that'll be very useful. Yeah, but keep praying for Dugan. Keep praying for the family, for the kids who are, as I get to celebrate my son's birthday, he has sons that are separated from their father. So it is something to think about. Keep them in your prayers. Do what you can. Get the word out as best you can. And if you know somebody who might be able to help from the inside, who works in the justice system, who may have, access to some of these people, maybe drop a line, send an email, or do what you can, and that's all any of us can do. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for hanging out tonight. A bit of a somber end to the show indeed, but I do want to thank each and every one of you for supporting, for hanging out, for watching, lurking, commenting, all of the fun stuff, for hanging out together and building this community, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. All right. And that's no other way around it, right? I want to thank each and every one of you once again. Get out there, get after it this week. It might be a rough week. You might have loss. You might have problems in your life. But hey, you're 6 feet up. You're not on the inside of jail watching this right now. So while you're out, use the time that you have to your advantage, to the betterment of yourself, your family, your community, your people, and for the kingdom of God. So with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless. Godspeed. Christ is King.